Here we go at 1 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon. We are so glad you're here. I'm Tyler Finger. Thanks for joining us for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We have a lot to tell you about over the course of the next hour. We have your top headlines, the weather, and everything in between. Remember, this is an interactive news conversation, so join us in the comments on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, so you can feel like you're a part of what we are talking about. If you have just a comment or if you have a question about something we are reporting, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. We'll try to get to you during this hour. I want to get straight to one of our big stories we're following right now at 1 o'clock, and it's this. Take a look at the mugshot. This is a disturbing crime and arrest that the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office just told us about. Detectives say 42-year-old Raymond Sukram of Canton is accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. The allegations here are startling. According to investigators, on Friday, August 21st, so last Friday, the girl's family reported that she had missed her school bus and had attempted to walk to school. While walking along Hickory Road, the girl reported that a male driving a large truck stopped and asked if she needed a ride. They say the male then persuaded her to get into that vehicle. The driver then took the girl to a location in Canton where she reported that he sexually assaulted her. Afterwards, the suspect dropped her off near the school. Detectives utilized automated license plate reader technology such as Flock to identify a vehicle matching the description provided by the victim. They found a suspect, executed a search warrant at the suspect's home this morning, and now Raymond Sukram was arrested and is behind bars, charged with aggravated child molestation, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, and interference with custody. He is in jail without bond at this hour. Again, new information we're just learning right now at 1 o'clock. Another story I want to tell you about has to do with a shooting that happened yesterday in DeKalb County. Well, this morning we got some information from DeKalb County Police. A 23-year-old man is now dead following a shooting in DeKalb, and it's his brother who faces charges. It happened on Hidden Creek Drive on Wednesday. Police say 20-year-old Jarrett Asquith has been arrested and charged with murdering his older brother, Devin Asquith. No other details have been released about what led up to the shooting, but rest assured we are working to get those details just as soon as we can. It's time now to talk about a missing persons case that we are following in Gwinnett County. The search continues for a 16-year-old girl who is missing from Lilburn. We are now showing you her picture. Take a good look at your screen if you're joining us here at 1 o'clock, because obviously we want to find this missing girl. Investigators tell us on August 19th, Ada George is her name, told her family she was going to Stone Mountain with a friend, but she never returned home. And investigators say they received information indicating George's phone was last detected in the Stonecrest area. They searched for her there, but didn't find her. George reportedly has medical issues. You are asked to call police if you see her, so take a good look at your screen. If you're watching us on your phone, make sure you're looking at this. We want to be able to help bring her home. So if you do know where she is, you are urged to call police as soon as possible. I want to tell you about this story. We got the news this morning about another celebrity sadly passing away, this one at the age of 85. TMZ reports that Peter Cullen, who voiced Eeyore and Optimus Prime in the Transformers movie franchise, is dead. The voice actor's agent says Cullen died on Wednesday at his Los Angeles home, surrounded by loved ones. The cause of death is unclear. Cullen also voiced characters like Predator and Carr from Knight Rider. This obviously has been a very sad week with a number of big celebrities who we all know, obviously Dolly Parton being one, passing away. And now we're learning that Peter Cullen has passed away at the age of 85. It's time now to get a check of the stories that we are following locally here in Atlanta. We have a team of reporters scattered throughout our area right now working for you, trying to get information on a bunch of different things. And let's check in with our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza, for what our team is working on this afternoon. Tanya, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Tyler. Yes, our team is working on several stories. Let's start out with what Eric Perry's working on. The big story this morning along the interstate. A crash involving a pedestrian shut down all northbound lanes of the downtown connector near North Avenue this morning, creating major delays for drivers heading into Atlanta. All northbound lanes of I-75 and 85 were closed at North Avenue for several hours. The closure was due to the crash involving a pedestrian. So traffic was backed up for several miles during this closure. So what Eric Perry is doing is following up on that accident, but not only that one, he's talking to the Georgia Department of Transportation about fatal pedestrian crashes on the interstate. There have been 6 just this month alone. Much more on that later, Tyler.
Yeah, a lot of
So
people.
kind of like a peak. It's like a peak of crashes involving pedestrians along the interstate. I know we've been reporting on it for a few weeks now. So Eric's going to break it down and talk to them about what is going on.
Yeah, obviously lots of questions how a pedestrian was on a busy interstate at 5 o'clock in the morning around when this happened. And then a lot of people then during the rush hour commute having to get off the interstate to take side streets through either Midtown, through the old Fourth Ward neighborhood, or West Midtown, depending where you were going. We saw huge traffic jams along Boulevard and places like that. So trying to get information on how this pedestrian got on there and getting details about that certainly has me interested, as I'm sure a lot of people watching who were dealing with this, and obviously just the sad news about someone being killed while out on an interstate. Let's turn to this next story, a big settlement.
Yes, that's right. Kevin Stewart's working on this story. It's involving a $10 million settlement reached with the city of Milton. And I think we're showing the wrong video right now. So yeah, let's just move to the Milton settlement story. So basically, there's a $10 million settlement that was reached with the city of Milton for the family of a 21-year-old killed in 2016. Joshua Chang was a Woodstock High School student. He was attending Yale University on a full scholarship. The crash occurred while visiting his parents during Thanksgiving break in 2016. Joshua swerved to avoid an obstruction in the road and struck a massive 7 to 8 foot concrete and stone planter sitting near the edge of the roadway. Investigations confirmed there was no drugs, alcohol, phone use, or speeding were involved in this crash. So a Fulton County jury found Milton, the city of Milton, liable for maintaining a hazardous nuisance and awarded the family around $32 million in 2023, affirmed on appeal in 2024. In March of 2026, the Georgia Supreme Court narrowed city liability rules for off-lane hazards, but preserved liability for legal nuisances, remanding the case for further consideration. The final $10 million settlement is funded by the Georgia Interlocal Risk Management Agency and the city of Milton. To honor his legacy, the city of Milton agreed to name a bridge near the crash site after Joshua Chang, and there is a memorial scheduled as well. That is what Kevin's working on. He's following up on that. But yeah, it took 10 years for all of this to come to a close, Tyler.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll get that information from Kevin when he joins us a little bit later here on Fox 5 News Live. Let's turn to this next story. And this one has had my interest since Angelique Proctor mentioned it yesterday. And it's certainly, I guess you could call it a smelly situation in one local classroom.
Yeah, that's right. So that right there is Candy Sydney Browning. She's a second grade teacher over at Dobbs Elementary. She's gone viral for having a gas station in the classroom. Tyler, go ahead and ask the question. What kind of gas station? Is that what you were going to ask?
That's the exact question I was going to ask. I feel like we scripted this and it was not scripted. Yes, what kind of gas station inside of a classroom?
Okay, so yeah, okay, so it's exactly what you're thinking. It's for passing gas or breaking wind, however you want to say it. She feels that what's the point of having students leave the classroom if they can do this bodily occurrence in the corner peacefully and still listen in on the lesson. So basically they've labeled the corner of the classroom the gusty winds area, and you just saw the sign there. And she provides, like air freshener in the area where that happens. So actually, I believe the company Febreze has sent her a box, which you're looking at right there, to restock on supplies for the gusty wind station. Tyler, I'm sure our viewers are going to have thoughts about this story and sound off on TikTok or YouTube or wherever. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. What do you think about it, Tyler?
Well, you said sound off. I really hope there's no sound when people are doing this.
I can assure you there is no gusty winds corner here in the newsroom, but this is a different approach in a classroom for sure.
Yeah, certainly a different approach, and this is a story that has gone viral online. I mean, the fact that it's, I guess, quote unquote, such a big problem in a classroom that the teacher said, hey, let's have a gas station in a corner where you can go just, relieve yourself, I guess, is a nice way of saying that. Well, and I just love the gusty winds area.
Yeah, I mean, the sign is it's great. I love it. So that's what Proctor's doing. She said inside the classroom today, there's one of the pictures Proctor sent me, and Angelique Proctor will have much more on the gusty wind station inside the classroom.
I feel like a child right now. I don't know why.
I know, it's a very, it's kind of silly, but it's a different aspect on how to look at this inside the classroom. And I get her point to a certain degree. They don't have to leave the classroom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. So we'll see what viewers have to say, and we'll hear the full story from Angelique Proctor later.
Sounds
all right,
good.
Tyler. One more thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've been seeing all these rattlesnake stories recently out of California, and then there's been bear stories everywhere, I think, in the country lately too. So we had our own little, I guess, visitor this morning here at Fox 5. Our producer, Michael Addison, was walking in for his overnight shift and saw this slithering surprise walking up the wall near the door where he walks in. So it was a garter snake, it looks like. So, no big deal, but, it's just a little surprise for his shift. So I wanted to get your reaction to that.
I hope that snake is gone. I didn't see it this morning when I walked in at 7 a.m., so I'm going to assume it's gone. But obviously, snakes can be vital to the ecosystem, so they're important out there. And as long as we have a snake out there, hopefully we have no mice or rats inside the building. So there's some good news if we are seeing it.
That is good news. And our viewers can chime in on their recent snake stories as well on TikTok if they want to. So thanks, Tyler.
Tanya, thanks so much for joining us and giving us an update on all the stories we're working on today, and including a little slithering surprise with that snake. I want to tell you about something that you guys can see up in the sky, and that has to do with a near total lunar eclipse tonight. So listen up to this. You might have to stay up a little late, and according to our weather experts, the best time to see the partial eclipse will be at 10:33. Maximum eclipse, which is when 96% of the moon will be eclipsed, making it an almost blood moon, will take place at 12:12 a.m. Honestly, looking forward to that. That would be super cool to be able to see. We'll obviously try to get some pictures for you and bring it to you tomorrow morning on Good Day Atlanta. Well, the time now is 1:13 on this Thursday afternoon, and somewhere out in the dark, the universe is hiding the answers to humanity's biggest questions. This weekend, NASA will launch the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope to uncover those answers, and one panoramic picture at a time. So joining us now is Dr. Jeremy Perkins from NASA's Kennedy Space Center to tell us more about the Roman Space Telescope and its upcoming launch. Dr. Perkins, I'm so glad you're joining us this afternoon.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Well, so obviously this launch is supposed to happen, I believe it's Sunday. Can you tell us about what makes this telescope different than some other ones that have been up there? Obviously the Hubble Space Telescope comes to mind for me.
Right. So if you think of the Hubble Space Telescope and you think of those beautiful images you get from Hubble, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is designed to get some of those same images, but on a wide field of view. So our field of view with Roman is about 100 times as Hubble is. And we also are designed to do surveys. And so we take a picture and move and stop and take a picture and move and stop. And we do that over and over and over and over again. And we build up tremendous large-scale images of the universe.
What types of discoveries are you most excited for once this thing becomes active up in space?
So when I think of what we know about our universe, I think of what we don't know, which is kind of a weird way of saying that. But we know that the universe is expanding, and we know that that expansion is accelerating. Everywhere we look around us in the universe, we see things moving away from each other. And we also know that there's something pulling stuff together. And so these things we call dark energy and dark matter, but we don't know what they are, and we don't know how they work. And so we have built Roman to actually make measurements of the universe to see how they're affecting the universe and try to understand what's going on and try to suss out kind of like how the universe works.
Perkins, I understand one of the goals of this telescope is to be able to kind of map the Milky Way galaxy. Kind of interesting to me that like that doesn't already exist, but obviously when technology gets better and better, you guys are able to do a lot more stuff. So what are some of the things that we don't understand about our, I guess, essentially our galactic neighborhood?
So when we survey the galaxy, it's going to take us about 6 months, which is actually really, really quick to do that. And we're going to find something like 20 billion stars in that, which is one of the most comprehensive catalogs of our stellar neighborhood, our galaxy. And so each of those is like a unique thing. I mean, you can think of it as that's like 1,000 times more stars than there are people in New York City. And so if you think about like every unique person in New York City, we're going to be able to study each star and say this star is like this and this star is like that. But what I'm kind of really interested in looking at our galaxy like this is I worked in a project where we discovered what are called the Fermi bubbles. And these are giant bubbles that were blown out by the black hole at the center of our galaxy. And they go up above and below our galaxy. And if you tip them over on their side, they're almost as big as our whole galaxy itself. And we don't know what they are. We don't really know how they were created. And with Roman, we can image them and we can look down in the galaxy and kind of see where they're coming from and to see if we can figure out like how they were blown and what they are actually.
Well, and so how soon after you guys launch this thing will we start getting our first images? Like how long will it take to become active?
So we're going out to a point in space where the gravitational pull of the Earth and the sun is balanced. And we're doing that so that we can get away from the Earth and it's a lot more stable out there. And it's going to take us about 3 months to get out there. And during that time, we're checking everything out. We're kind of kicking the tires and making sure everything works the way we designed it to. And then after that, we're going to be releasing the full images to the public. And so if you look at our launch here on Sunday, that's sometime at the end of the year or early next year where we're expecting to see the first light from this telescope.
So potentially we're going to start seeing some first images at some point in maybe December-ish?
Yep,
maybe January?
Yep, exactly. Somewhere around then.
Well, and how can we stay up to date on what you guys are doing and the telescope's journey?
So the best place to go and the quickest place to go is nasa.gov/Roman. There you can find links to watch the launch live on Sunday morning, and you can also follow us on social media. And there's a blog, and you can follow along about how things are going with commissioning and into operations.
Dr. Jeremy Perkins, I really appreciate you joining us this afternoon. I can sense your excitement for what is to come as you guys are launching this new telescope to orbit and obviously advancing what we are understanding about our galaxy and things like that. So I appreciate your expertise and I appreciate you joining us this afternoon to talk about it.
It's great to talk to you too. Thank you so much.
And let's bring you a little closer to home now. Let's see if we can take a live look outside across Midtown and downtown Atlanta. You can certainly see the cloud cover there. Earlier today, we saw some rain, and I understand we're looking at possibly more rain coming through the area into the afternoon and evening. Let's bring in Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Marquise Mita now with the latest update. And possibly, I know we're also talking about a potential tropical system that just got named around 11 a.m. this morning, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Tropical Storm Dolly as well. So while conditions here in northern Georgia were a little bit cooler today because of the rain, the tropics are heating up. We're on our fourth named storm, and here's a look at the visible satellite imagery taken starting this morning. We see that good cyclonic rotation, right? This started off as Invest 96L, a tropical wave off the western coast of Africa, but it's gained its strength. Wind speeds are sustained at 40 miles per hour. And as we continue across the weekend, looks like all the spaghetti spaghetti monoplots have a tight-knit unison, right? So that means we have strong confidence in what direction this system is going to go, heading towards the west now at 24 miles per hour and likely crossing over the Lesser Antilles as we start off the work week on Monday. Where it goes from there, now the model starts to deviate. Some bringing it across Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, some making that turn towards the north. So we'll keep our eyes fixated on the tropics all throughout the weekend. But here's a look at that forecast track matching up well with those spaghetti model plots, and we have the movement towards the west at 24 miles per hour. Winds at 40 miles per hour, and we will see the chance for this system to reach 45-mile-per-hour conditions. Ultimately here back at home, though, monitoring the showers pushing out towards the east. Looks like they're well past us inside of the metro, and that allows for the Tour Championship to continue. But notice throughout the afternoon, rain chances actually amplify between 2 and 4 o'clock. We show that 40% coverage, so there's a possibility that with a few light showers in the vicinity, we may have some delays on the Tour Championship there. Right now in Atlanta, 77-degree temperatures with humidity values all the way up in the 80% range due to the moisture that has already rained down on us. Moving across the weekend, though, or better yet, across your Friday, we will have another shot at showers coming your way. And we see that chance actually fading out of the forecast for tonight, dropping down to a 20% coverage overnight as we time out the showers and storms pushing across from west to east today. We may have a break in the rain just past the midnight hour. That's great news there because we do have a lunar eclipse occurring just after midnight. So we'll watch the clouds break apart for that eclipse, in which we could potentially see that bright red moon. Ultimately, though, as we continue across the next 7 days, what we're going to be watching is for your temperatures to warm up. Not too bad over the course of the weekend, but we will see a better shots at temperatures returning to the middle of the 90s, and that'll start as we head into the middle of your work week. So drier this weekend once the rain comes down and temperatures begin to warm on up with more sunshine throughout your work week forecast.
You definitely piqued my interest when you said more sunshine as we get into next week.
I thought the lunar eclipse would pique your interest.
Well, funny enough, I will not be here. I'll be hopefully on a plane somewhere for vacation. But right. I will look at the pictures.
There we go.
And hopefully that people can get a good, clear picture of it, or at least view of it, so that they can enjoy the partial lunar eclipse. Marquise, thanks so much. We're back in just 2 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Thursday afternoon. The time now is 1:24. We want to get to this next story that has definitely dominated the headlines in Gwinnett County for the last probably about 2 weeks or so, maybe a little longer than that. It has to do with that Parkview High School former track coach who's accused of stealing money from the team's booster club. And reporting from the Gwinnett Daily Post reveals Matthew Henson, that's the guy's name, admitted to taking money last year, months before his arrest. And Nate McCullough reported the story and joins us now live. Nate, I'm so glad you're here. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be back with you.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. What did you uncover? Obviously, you filed an open records request, which is what any good reporter does. What did you uncover with this latest story?
Well, that's right. I've been working on this story actually for months before his arrest, and it was getting hard to shake things loose with, you have confidential sources, people who want to be anonymous. But once he was arrested, it was a lot easier to get some people to talk. And I also did an open records request, and this is the stack of papers that I got from nearly 600 pages on Matt Henson from Gwinnett County Public Schools. And included in that was the employee relations investigation into the allegations against him, which was separate from the police probe. And what that revealed was that he not only admitted to taking those funds, which is around $65,000 right now, but he admitted that he gave it to family members. And another thing that was in here was a long list of what he allegedly spent those stolen funds on. So just combing through a lot of it, this was all turned over to the police in somewhere between October 31st. Well, no, it was turned over on October 31st, but he resigned on November the 5th, but he was not arrested until the first day of school in August, a couple of weeks ago. So
do we know, I mean, obviously he resigned last year, so the district knew about it last year, but it took until this year, just as school was getting underway, for him to finally, be cuffed, get a mugshot, things like that. Do we know the gap on why it took so long? I mean, obviously police investigation.
Right, and I've asked that question and not really received a satisfactory answer. And I asked the school system. I said, an HR investigation is not the same as police. Is it just the sheer amount of transactions they had to go through, or, obviously a police probe is going to take longer, but nobody's really told me yet. But what we do know is that that big stack of records I just showed you was turned over to police Halloween of last year. And we also know, I've also found out through some of our reporting that his wife was initially a suspect. She has not been charged. His daughter also received money according to these records. She has not been charged. I've asked why, not received an answer. But he admitted to forging checks using a debit card that he was not supposed to have. And some of the things that he spent money on: trips to casino, car washes, cruises, vacations, home renovations. I mean, it's a lengthy list of what he allegedly did with these stolen funds.
Yeah, he didn't discriminate on where he spent the money, according to the documents and according to what police have said, and obviously what investigators have uncovered. I mean, $65,000 is no small amount of money. How did this come to light? Can you remind me?
Yeah, the Booster Club itself started noticing anomalies in their records, and they brought it to the school system's attention earlier in October of last year. And once it was brought to their attention, it seems like the school officials jumped on it pretty quickly and turned it over to police. And he resigned. His wife resigned a month later. But as to why the gap from October 31st to the first day of school, I'm still trying to dig into that. And I'm looking into other leads that I have as well. I don't think this story is going to go away anytime soon.
And I'm sure you're not going to let it go away, especially because people of Gwinnett County, I'm sure, want answers about how this could unfold. And I'm sure there's going to be big changes to make sure something like this never happens again. It'd be one thing if it was a few $100s, maybe $1,000, but the fact that you got up to $65,000 alleged here to be stolen for so many different expenditures. The cruise is what grabbed my attention. Nate McCullough from the Gwinnett Daily Post, I really appreciate you joining us. You can obviously see now we wanted to show part of you guys and part of our partnership. You guys have been working with us to be able to expand our coverage here on Fox Local. And Nate, I really appreciate you joining us this afternoon as we continue to shine a light on different stories in Gwinnett County. I appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Nate, thank you. And I want to talk about another story. This one is in Fulton County, and a personal battle with prostate cancer is now inspiring a Fulton County commissioner to help other men get screened. So let me tell you about this. Commissioner Bob Ellis is teaming up with Emory's Winship Cancer Institute for a free men's health tailgate today that's happening in Alpharetta. So Chris Rosenthal is live there this afternoon with the details. I see the truck behind you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. The truck is behind me, and I'll tell you what, they've been busy all day. They've done about 100 screenings so far. This truck, actually, Emory Winship, has been going around the state here for about a year now. Have done these tests for about 2,300 men so far, and they have definitely caught some prostate cancer in some of them. About 1 in 7, 1 in 8 or so they estimate have something that needs to be looked at and checked out. Prostate cancer, of course, is something very important to screen, and that's why Bob Ellis, the Fulton County Commissioner Bob Ellis, he actually has his own experience here, and that's part of what has inspired him to host this event. And tell us, Bob, so this is very personal for you, huh?
That's right. I found out last fall that I had prostate cancer. Kind of found out it was in sort of an odd set of circumstances that I ordinarily wouldn't just be going into the doc for, and one thing led to another, and I found out early and was able to establish a really good, effective treatment plan for me. I feel great. I feel really good about my own prospects, and during that process, I really learned the importance of early screening for prostate cancer because of all the possibilities out there in terms of just effective treatment. And then I heard about what Emory Winship was doing, and I'm like, hey, I got to tell my story and then encourage people to come out and get tested. We've had a fantastic response today. Over 100 people coming in here and getting tested, men from all walks of life and different ranges and of ages and so forth. But a lot of guys sort of at the early end of the curve that I can see that this is definitely that they took advantage of some early screening. Hopefully there's nothing there for them, but if there is something that's identified, then they can get them on a pathway to effective treatment, and so that they can go about living their life fully and comfortably. So that's what today's been about for me, and I've just been really pleased with the community response.
And it's completely free. Anybody can come on out to this. They just show up.
Just show up. It's just that simple. Just come out. We got a little bit of time left. We're here till 3 o'clock, so just come on by, and it's nice and easy. Testing's a little invasive, just a little bit of blood. It's an easy test, and you'll be out of here and on your way in no time.
Yeah, and it's 4700 North Point Parkway here at the Fulton County Health offices here. So
that's right. So come 4700 North Point Parkway in Alpharetta. Come on out.
Yep, and come on out, guys. It's super easy, super simple, and really, really important to get these checks here because I'll tell you they have been catching some people and with it, and treated early, caught early. It's very, very treatable. Very, very treatable.
Yeah, obviously, Chris. I think it's great that Commissioner Ellis, unfortunately, he was diagnosed and he's trying to use his platform to be able to encourage other people to find out because, as you mentioned, it's very treatable. So knowing is the thing you want to have on your side and knowing early. Chris Rosenthal, I appreciate you showing us this, and hopefully more folks can head on out there to be able to get screened for prostate cancer. We'll check in with you over the course of the next several hours right here on Fox 5 News Live. We still have a lot more ahead here for the news at 1 o'clock. We're back in just 2 minutes. back to Fox 5 News Live on this Thursday afternoon. The time now is 1:35. I'm so glad you're here and sticking with us. We want to get you up to date on that big trial out of Massachusetts that we have been following for weeks now. It's the Lindsay Clancy trial, and we have some big news to tell you about. Just within the last about hour or so, the jury was handed the case after closing arguments. So they wrapped up today, those closing arguments, and now the jury is going to have to decide her fate. So defense attorney Kevin Reddington argued that Clancy, a former labor and delivery nurse, was in distress and suffered severe postpartum psychosis and is not criminally responsible for the murders of her 3 children. But, as you might imagine, prosecutors disagree. They say Clancy intentionally planned the killings. We're going to be following this and bring you updates as soon as we can live here during Fox 5 News Live. As soon as there's a verdict, rest assured Fox 5 has you covered. We'll make sure you get the latest information. And that obviously is one of the stories that is trending on our website and trending around the country. Matter of fact, a lot of people are talking about it. I was at the I was getting my hair cut last week, and the person cutting my hair even asked me about the case because she had been watching it on TikTok and social media. So a lot of people invested in it. We'll keep you up to date. And speaking of stories that have a lot of people talking, let's check in with our Joyce Lupiani, one of our digital content creators, for the stories that are trending right now on our website, fox5atlanta.com, and our Fox Local app. Joyce, good to see you.
Hey, Tyler. So my first story is about an Atlanta woman who is going to federal prison for more than 16 years after prosecutors say she helped steal nearly $10 million from Amazon. So we've been telling you about this for a while now. Brittany Hudson and her partner used like fake vendors and more than 1,000 bogus invoices to get Amazon to pay them about $9.4 million. And get this, while Hudson was out on bond, prosecutors say that she forged a federal judge's signature on fake court documents while trying to land a franchise deal for Midtown Hookah Lounge. And right now we're just showing you some pictures of like some of the things that she bought with this money. You can see there's like several cars, a motorcycle. I think she also bought a home. And if I remember correctly, she and the other person who was prosecuted and convicted in this case, they worked for Amazon at the time, which is how they were kind of able to pull off this whole scam.
I mean, I saw the story on our website this morning. I think we reported on it last night, saw it this morning on fox5atlanta.com, and a lot of people have been clicking on it for obvious reasons. I mean, because we have the actual pictures of the items. I think there was a Porsche there, a Lamborghini, and then I think it was a nearly $1 million home. I mean, just absolutely wild. Understandably, people are probably clicking on it because they're like, how did they pull one over on Amazon?
Right. I know it was very surprising. And unfortunately, you do hear about this quite a bit. We have another story on our website. I don't remember all the details, but it's basically about a mail carrier who got like $1 million in gift cards. I'm like, that had to have been like a lot of gift cards, and she was doing it for several years. But we also have that story on our website, and people have been checking that one out too.
Change it up and talk about Dolly Parton. So there's going to be, I think it's in North Georgia, if you correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be a maze this fall in the cornfield.
Yes. It's going to be at Jamore Farms, which is in Alto, which is up kind of like around Gainesville. It's about an hour and a half from Atlanta, kind of depending, of course, where you live at in Atlanta and how fast you drive. But they do this every year. They have this big harvest celebration. It's really cool. I've been to it several times. And they always have like a giant corn maze. Well, this year they're going to do it as a tribute to Dolly Parton. And actually, they're not the only ones. There's like 20 different farms kind of around the country, mostly kind of like in this area in the Midwest and whatever, who are doing this. Like a company kind of put everything together and asked these well-known places that already do the corn mazes if they would participate. And, you know, they all said yes. Of course, you know, Jay Moore, they said yes. So they're going to do the maze this year. And in addition, they're going to be like fundraising or providing a way for people to donate to Dolly's Imagination Library. So if you've never been there, I mean, it's a fantastic place to go. But you should really go now if you're like a Dolly Parton fan.
That's certainly cool. And the fact that they're going to be donating some money to the Imagination Library, which was very close to Dolly's heart, I'm sure that's going to get a lot of people heading up there. And let's talk about this last one before we run out of time. I'm seeing Buc-ee's in the headline. And obviously, if Joyce is involved, Buc-ee's is obviously going to be in the news for us.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not the one who came up with this. So, like a couple of days ago, I think it was the New York Post, they had a story about Buc-ee's tattoo rules. And they were kind of saying it was a new rule. It's not. It's actually been around for a few years. But the story went viral because it was in the New York Post. So the rule is basically if you work at Buc-ee's, you cannot have visible tattoos. You also can't have like visible body piercings, and you can't have like orange hair or anything like that. You know, they expect their employees to basically wear uniforms and to be just, you know, kind of clean shaven, very neat, you know, kind of people. So yeah, this story went viral. In fact, like our anchors this morning on Good Day Atlanta, they were talking about it. A lot of people have been reading, you know, the story on our website. Plus, you know, like all the other stuff that's been going on with Buc-ee's lately too. You know, they've gone after like several different places for trademark infringement. In fact, one of those places is here in Georgia. It's called Teddy's. And we've done a couple of stories about that and put it on our website, and people are very interested in those. And, you know, there's been a couple other things here lately, like their owner came out pretty recently, like last week, I think it was, and said that, you know, they would, you know, Buc-ee's expanding big time. They're opening new places all the time. And they came out last week and said that they would continue opening places, but they were basically going to stay in states that are like friendly to them, kind of like the more conservative states that kind of aligns with like their values and everything.
Well, Joyce, I don't know if you realized it, but you made me hungry because we were showing videos of like the steak and all the different things you can buy at Buc-ee's, the kolaches and things like that. Joyce, I appreciate you joining us with the stories that are trending right now on our website, fox5atlanta.com. And we're going to stay on the food topic, even though we weren't really talking about food with the Buc-ee's and the tattoos and things like that. But we're going to stay on the food topic because if you looked at your calendar, it probably doesn't say it in there, but today is National Peach Day. And so we sent our Eli Jordan to the Peach Cobbler Factory because, you know, he just wants to eat.
Oh, peaches are great. And I guess I need to forget about any kind of career over at Buc-ee's right now. But nonetheless, yes, it is Peach Day. And, you know, the peach was cultivated over 7,000 years ago in China, and that's the peach that we know now, and the peach has not looked back. And I'm here at the Peach Cobbler Factory in West Cobb, Marietta, off of the Dallas Highway Southwest. And I'm here with Derek and Dee Titley. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hello there. Hi.
Thank you. Hey, so tell me, you guys are making peaches, making peach cobbler, and today's National Peach Day. So are you guys excited about it?
Oh, we're excited. We're excited every day.
Gotcha. Yeah, hold the mic a little bit higher there so we can hear you. So I guess it's a Peach Day every day here, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Peach Day every day, except for today is special for us. Well, we are going to give each customer that comes in and mention that they saw us on TV, we're going to give you 20% off today.
20% off. That is a good deal. So tell me, what kind of peach cobbler items do you guys have here? I see a lot of good stuff here, cookies and stuff, but I like what we see
yes,
here.
Yes, here at Peach Cobbler Factory, you can get a variety of everything. We actually have 12 flavors of cobblers, but our main one today is our very own peach cobbler. You can order it and get a scoop of ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream on the cobbler is the best. Yes.
You can get it on top, or you can get it on the side. Most people like to get it on top because who doesn't love a good peach cobbler?
Oh, yeah. Nice hot cobbler there. It's going to melt, have peaches and cream and cobbler.
We sprinkle it with our own special cobbler magic to give it the extra special touch.
All right. So how long have you guys been around here? I haven't heard of the Peach Cobbler Factory until I got this assignment.
Well, we've been with the Avenues for 2 years. We plan on staying here.
Gotcha. And so you guys have, you're open until 10 p.m. every night?
Yes, we open every day from 12 to 10 p.m. and on the weekends till midnight for delivery services.
So you guys have delivery services.
Yes.
So if I'm sitting at home and I'm watching some YouTubes and I'm getting the munchies and I'm like, I want some peach cobbler or maybe a blackberry cobbler or something like that, you guys can come to the rescue, right?
That's right.
And you guys not only make the little cups of it, but you guys make the big pan dishes, just like we get at Grandma's house here.
That's right. That's right.
And so, today's peach cobbler day. I'm going to be out here all day. Derek, Dee, Titley, thank you so much. I'm going to kick it back before we run out of time. Tyler, I'm going to chow down on some peach cobbler and enjoy myself. And I'll be thinking about you guys back at the station as I am enjoying the sticky, icky goodness of a peach cobbler.
Eli, all I'm going to say is she said that they have delivery services. I have my own personal delivery man, and his name is Eli Jordan. He will be bringing some to us before he heads home for the day.
You know what I could real quick? You can go to peachcobblerfactory.com, choose your location, and you can have it delivered to you.
Eli Jordan, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you a little bit later. We still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're talking air travel, from reclining your seat to taking off your shoes. Airplane etiquette can get a lot of people talking, especially in some heated debates, especially if you're on an airplane and you're not liking something. A new survey from the Points Guy reveals what passengers say is and isn't acceptable. As you can see on your screen, Clint Henderson, a travel expert from the Points Guy, joining us live this afternoon. Clint, I'm so glad to see you again.
Good to see you and hear about the peach cobbler.
You know what? We're in Georgia. We have to obviously talk about the peaches on National Peach Day. But now we're talking about air travel. You guys had this whole etiquette survey that you guys have released. 42% say airplane etiquette has gotten worse. I can attest for that. I've witnessed a lot of crazy things on airplanes. What do travelers say is the biggest problem?
So the biggest problem is actually noise. So 27% in the survey said that noise was their biggest issue. Mostly people who are watching TV, taking phone calls on Zoom calls without headphones on. So they're just listening at full volume, whether that's in the airport lounges or whether that's on the plane. It really drives people crazy. So that was really interesting finding.
Obviously driving people crazy. You hear, I've definitely heard that people in the airport will be talking on FaceTime, and it's like, do you not have an AirPod? Do you not have headphones you can plug in? What about the middle seat? So, I mean, actually, I want to start here. Actually, let's talk about the reclining, because that's the thing that always irks me. So, should we recline? Should we not recline?
So my rule has always been I don't recline on daytime flights, only on nighttime flights, and I always ask the person behind me first. But actually, 51% say that it's fine to recline your seat in economy. Just give the person behind you a heads up. And there's a reason for this. I've had a colleague have her computer crushed by someone reclining into her without warning. So you can recline according to our survey, but you should ask permission first.
what about the middle seat? I kind of jumped myself on what I wanted to talk about. The middle seat for me. I sometimes get stuck in there, even though I'm an aisle guy. I want the aisle. Do I get both armrests?
So that's the golden rule, according to the Points Guy and everything I've always heard. But only 11% of the people that we surveyed said that that's the rule, that the middle seat passenger should get both the middle armrests. So Americans don't agree with the golden rule from my point of view and your point of view, which is the person in the middle seat has the worst seat, so they get the 2 armrests. But Americans seem to think that you should share the armrests, which I thought was pretty surprising, because how do you do that exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are one of the people reclining, you kind of can put your arms back a little bit further while the person not reclining, keep it. But yeah, it's a real mess on airplanes nowadays, since there's no leg room anyway. So it's like, yeah, nothing. You're in everyone's personal space. How about this one? I have never had this happen to me, but I see it on Reddit all the freaking time. Is it rude to ask someone to swap seats?
So Americans say, no, it's not rude to ask people to swap seats, as long as you accept no as the answer, if the answer is no. So, these days, you almost always have to pay for better seats. So it kind of surprises me this is still happening. But, there's folks who are going to ask. And most Americans believe that it's not rude to ask. You just have to accept it if someone says no.
Okay, let's do a quick rapid fire. I have 2 more questions I want to ask you about. When the plane lands, should people wait their turn, or should they just start running down the aisle? Because I see people both ways.
Overwhelmingly, people say, in the most, 65% say it's from front to back, row by row. So don't push your way to the front.
Okay, and then the window shade. Who gets control of that?
So most people say that the window seat passenger does get the window shade control, but not everyone agrees, which is shocking to me. So my feeling is whoever gets the window seat, part of that power is to control the window shade, but most Americans don't agree with that necessarily.
All I'm going to say is I've been on a flight where I've had a flight attendant tell me you have to lower the window shade. It was still daylight out. It was a daylight flight, and they're like, people need to sleep. And I'm like, I'm not tired. I would love to look out. I followed her directions, because you always have to follow what flight crew says. Where can people find the results of this? I assume thepointsguy.com?
Yeah, so thepointsguy.com, we have the whole survey results, and you can dive in as deep as you want to get.
Clint, I really appreciate your time. Love our chats. I look forward to following your adventures online on Instagram. I see you post everything all the time. Clint Henderson, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you.
Let's talk about this before we go. A big food delivery in Gwinnett County, or I think Athens, actually, not Gwinnett County, where they're helping families in Northeast Georgia facing hunger. About 40,000 pounds of food. Clearly, we're on a food theme today here for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. That food has arrived at a food bank in Northeast Georgia. Let's check in with our Maria Guzman now with all the details. Hey, Maria.
Hey, Tyler, I want to show you what 40,000 pounds of food looks like. I mean, this is just one of the several pallets here inside the food bank of Northeast Georgia. But I also want to introduce you guys to Kelly, and Kelly's going to talk to us how these items are going to help families. So, Kelly, you guys serve 15 counties around here. How big of a help are all these donations?
This is an amazing donation that we've received. The Church of Latter-day Saints, and this is coming at such a critical moment for us as we wrap up the summer, get ready for a busy fall and into the holidays. This will be going out into the community within a matter of days and on the tables of many families to enjoy. So I anticipate this will help provide over 30,000 meals.
We talked about how you've seen a big jump. So talk to me about the big need recently, how many people you guys serve here.
We are seeing a pretty significant need here in Northeast Georgia. I am standing here in Athens, but we serve 15 counties all the way up to Towns County, Clayton, Georgia, and Rabun County, and we are seeing the need grow. More than 13% increase in the number of people seeking food assistance. Right now, we are serving more than 90,000 people every month that are seeking food.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Tyler, I'm gonna go ahead and show you again just a live picture of what 40,000 pounds of food looks like. Again, they serve just anyone, students, seniors, families here around this area. I'll send things back to you.
That is going to do so much good in the North Georgia community, people in need. They are going to put that to good use, I'm sure, at the food bank to make sure people who need it get it. Maria Guzman, thanks so much for showing us this and what they're doing and how they're going to be helping people just like us in our community who are in need. We'll be checking in with you throughout the afternoon here on Fox 5 News Live at 2 and 3 o'clock. I just want to make one quick mention. I'm looking at our TikTok channel right now. Marie Bellajay asked if there were any updates on the Nolan Wells case. That is a story that a lot of people are following. We just checked. So far, no updates, but the family is asking for a federal probe to investigate his death. So far, no word yet if the feds will be joining this investigation. Guys, the time now is 1:55, approaching 1:56 on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Tyler Fingert. I'm so glad that you joined me for the last hour. It's been fun. Don't go anywhere, though. We still have a lot more news and weather and all the headlines to tell you about. That's coming your way at the top of the hour at 2 o'clock. My good friend Ariel Onstott will be joining you at 2, followed by Tom Haynes at 3. Make it a great rest of your day, everyone. Have a good one.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being live with us at 2 o'clock. We've got a lot of stories to get to, as we always do. So let's start off. We want to talk about the latest regarding some stories in our newsroom, like a missing teen from Gwinnett. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a woman who's been sentenced after engaging in what prosecutors say was a massive scam involving Amazon. We're going to talk about how she is accused of forging a judge's signature. But let's start first with the latest regarding a pedestrian that was struck tragically on the downtown connector. This snarled traffic for hours during the morning rush hour, and our Eric Perry's been digging into the latest and joins us live. Eric, it's good to see you. What can you share with us this afternoon?
Yeah, so this is just one of many pedestrian incidents that have happened in the past week alone, but I've counted so far 6 incidents just in the month of August. And so I talked with Georgia Department of Transportation officials. They tell us that they see a peak ever so often, a cluster, as they like to call it. These incidents, they don't know why, they don't know how it's happening, but this morning it happened. A man was hit and killed there on that downtown connector or near it this morning. Atlanta police released information, the latest this morning on I-75 near Moores Mill Road. We just got a release in not too long ago. We're told that he was hit and unfortunately hit by several cars afterwards, and they still don't know exactly what led up to that person being in the interstate. This also happened last weekend. One incident, a woman had pulled over her Acura on the side of the road. When she got out of the car to check the damage, that's when she was hit and killed. Another incident happened. A woman and her boyfriend were allegedly fighting on the side of the road. That woman was hit. We've also seen another incident happening at I-75 around that Moores Mill Road exit. So there are different incidents there. Look, I know you don't want to hear it. GDOT knows you don't want to hear it. But if there is any type of incident that happens in your vehicle, they really do encourage you and urge you to stay inside of the car with your seatbelts buckled, unless you just absolutely can't. So, if the car is on fire or if there's just significant damage, that's when they're saying you can get out and then go to a far shoulder or a grassy area or somewhere that is away from traffic as possible. But I talked with Natalie Dale a little earlier today. Take a listen to a little bit of our conversation. Again, she's just encouraging you to stay inside of your vehicle.
Second you step out of your car, drastically increase the chance of serious injuries or death if you're involved in an incident.
If we don't, then I'll just keep talking here. But overall,
on a road that has high speeds, that has distracted driving, and even a fender bender could push a car into your wreck, you are putting yourself at extreme risk. You need to get as far away from moving traffic as possible. And I say that with much caution. You need to be really certain that you need to exit that vehicle.
Try to get some help for the other person, but what ends up happening, you don't realize how wide the lanes actually are on the interstate. And of course, people are going 70, 80, then you have those people going 90 plus. Just that distance alone, you don't make it in time, so you're ending up hurt as well. So wait for 511 or call 511 or 911. They'll send a hero unit out, or if you're outside Metro Atlanta, they call them champs, but they'll send those units or those technicians out who will provide that aid for you. They are trained to high traffic areas to make sure they keep you safe. They can block the traffic as well. But of course, I'm working on more of that story at 4 o'clock area.
Eric, thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. It's such a sobering and good reminder, because the first thing we want to do oftentimes when we pull over or when something happens is to get out of our vehicle, inspect the damage, see what's going on. And when there's no real way to get off the interstate, as you've seen here throughout the downtown connector, these really busy areas of Atlanta's roads, it is safest to stay inside your vehicle. So a good reminder. All right, Eric, it seems like you can't hear us right now, so we'll let you get back to reporting. In the meantime, you guys, let's continue on with the latest as we are moving along here at 2 o'clock. Eric Perry there reporting about the pedestrian who was tragically struck and killed along the downtown connector. We don't know anything about that person's identity. As we get any new information into our newsroom, we will let you know. In the meantime, let's talk about the latest regarding a missing teen from Gwinnett. On your screen here is Ada George, and police say that they need your help finding the 16-year-old girl. She's been missing for more than a week, and she was reported missing August 19th from her home in the 1500 block of Hewitt Road in Lilburn. That's according to the Gwinnett County Police Department. They say that George stated before leaving that she was going to go to Stone Mountain with a friend. Her current whereabouts since going to Stone Mountain with a friend, unknown. During the investigation, detectives received information indicating her phone was last found or last located in the Stonecrest area of southeast DeKalb County. Investigators searched the area but have not found her. They don't know whether she is on foot or whether she was in a vehicle. She does have health concerns that make finding her especially important. So if this girl, this 16-year-old girl, looks familiar to you, give police a call immediately. She is 5'8" tall, weighs about 150 pounds. She has brown eyes and piercings in both her ears and her nose. So give Gwinnett County Police detectives a call. As we continue to get any new information, we will let you know right here on Fox Local. Let's talk about a situation that unfolded in DeKalb County. We understand that a brother has been charged with murder after a shooting, a deadly shooting in DeKalb Wednesday. A 23-year-old man was shot in DeKalb County Wednesday, and that person died. His younger brother now facing the murder charge. Police identified the victim as Devin Asquith, 23 years old. He was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries after officers responded to a home at Hidden Creek Drive. They had gotten reports of a person being shot. Police have since confirmed that Asquith died from his injuries. His brother, 20-year-old Jared Asquith, was arrested and booked into the DeKalb County Jail on a murder charge. Fox 5 previously spoke with people in the neighborhood who say that two people involved in the shooting may be related, and police had not confirmed that information at that time, but now we are getting the official word that it was two brothers involved and one has died, the other being charged with this violence. Investigators have not released any further information about what led up to this shooting. We'll continue to keep you updated as we get any new information. But let's talk about this wild story, because a woman has been sentenced after nearly $10 million in Amazon funds, scam funds to be specific, funded her luxury lifestyle, according to police. She's going to spend more than 16 years behind bars after stealing nearly $10 million from Amazon and forging a federal judge's signature while out on bond. That's the crazy thing about all of this. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Brittany Hudson owned a business contracted to deliver packages for Amazon. Federal prosecutors say she operated the fraud scheme alongside her partner, Karika Wortham, who worked as an operations manager at an Amazon warehouse in Smyrna. The U.S. Attorney's Office says that between January 2022 and June 2022, Wortham used her position at the company to approve dozens of fake vendor profiles. Prosecutors say that Hudson and Wortham then submitted over 1,000 fictitious invoices claiming those fake vendors provided goods and services to Amazon. According to federal officials, Wortham approved those payouts, causing Amazon to transfer roughly nearly $10 million into bank accounts controlled by Hudson, Wortham, and their co-conspirators. The U.S. Attorney's Office reported that the couple used the stolen money to purchase nearly $1 million home in Smyrna, a 2019 Lamborghini Yaris, and a 2021 Dodge Durango, a 2022 Tesla Model X, and a 2018 Porsche Panamera, make sure I say that right, and a Kawasaki motorcycle. So you're looking at these photos from the U.S. Attorney General's office, the U.S. Attorney's Office here specifically in the Northern District of Georgia, of these vehicles that they believe were bought with these stolen funds. And further, authorities say to trick the franchising company, federal officials believe that Brittany Hudson and Wortham claimed the criminal charges had been dropped, submitting counterfeit court documents with a former U.S. Chief District Judge and a Cobb County Magistrate Judge's signatures. Investigators added that Hudson also provided fake bank statements to support this franchise deal. So federal prosecutors say that a jury convicted Hudson of 30 felony counts back in March, including wire fraud, money laundering, and forging a federal judge's signature. So just really a wild story here of what they were believed to have gotten away with. Prosecutors did not release the identity of the additional co-conspirator of the Amazon warehouse who helped approve these fake vendor profiles. They say that the specific franchising company targeted by Hudson and Wortham during a Midtown hookah lounge scheme was not named in this case. It's unclear whether any remaining portion of that nearly $10 million was stolen. That was stolen from Amazon was recovered at all. So pretty crazy situation. As always, you guys, you are a part of the conversation here. We're checking our TikTok, YouTube, see what you guys have to say. I see Carly talking about how you hope that girl Ada George is found safe. Definitely something that investigators are working on and concerned about. We will keep you updated as we get any new information here into our newsroom. And I also do want to let you guys know, as I'm taking a look at your comments, Marie Bella J saying, talking about the woman who was sentenced for her role in this fraud scheme with Amazon. Pretty crazy story. So let's continue on, you guys. I want to talk about a story near Savannah in Effingham County. This has gotten a lot of traction on social media and people have been concerned. So let's talk about what we know, because Georgia Power announced Thursday that the state regulators approved its contract to power OpenAI's major new project in Effingham County. This is going to deliver expanded rate savings for residential customers, according to Georgia Power. But the Georgia Public Service Commission ultimately approved the contract for Georgia Power to supply electricity to OpenAI's project in Effingham County. Filed in July, the agreement includes 3,200 megawatts of new power demand for this data center for OpenAI. Under the terms of the deal, OpenAI will cover all infrastructure costs necessary to serve the complex. OpenAI committed up to 1,000 megawatts of flexible demand response. The commitment allows Georgia Power to reduce power delivery to the facility during peak demand periods, decreasing the need to invest in new generation resources. You know, part of the concern here for a lot of residents in Effingham County was, are we going to have to foot the bill for this data center? You know, officials are saying that's not the case, but a lot of residents want to really see the fine print to understand if they're going to be subsidizing the cost of operating these massive data centers. A typical residential customer uses 1,000 kilowatt hours per month. They say are going to see savings increases from a previously estimated 102 annually to 180 per year starting in 2029. Georgia Power projects large load contracts, they say, are going to generate nearly or around $950 million annually in revenue. And they say this is going to be passed on in benefits to the consumer. We will keep you updated as we get any new details, but that is something that I wanted to let you know, that contract has been approved, since we have seen a lot of discussion surrounding it. Let's talk about Georgia. The state of Georgia is setting a new execution date for convicted killer Stacey Humphreys. A new execution date has been set after a Georgia death row inmate was convicted of killing 2 women at a Cobb County real estate office more than 2 decades ago. The Georgia Department of Corrections announced Thursday that Stacey Humphreys will be executed September 16th at 7 p.m. at the Georgia Diagnostic and Classification Prison in Jackson. The Cobb County Superior Court had issued an order allowing the execution to happen between September 16th and September 23rd. Corrections Commissioner Tyrone Oliver selected the first day of that window. Humphreys was convicted and sentenced to death for the 2003 murders of Cindy Williams and Lori Brown. At the time, Lori Brown was 21 years old and Cindy Williams was 33 years old. The backstory here is that Humphreys had previously been scheduled to die by lethal injection on December 17th, but that execution did not happen. Ahead of the date, Humphreys challenged the execution in federal court, arguing that an agreement reached when Georgia paused executions during the COVID-19 pandemic should also protect him from execution. A federal judge rejected that argument, finding that Humphreys fell outside the group of death row prisoners covered by the agreement because the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals denied his request for a rehearing back in October of 2024, years after the pandemic judicial emergency ended. Humphreys also raised concerns about Georgia's execution protocol because of health issues. His attorneys argue that lying flat during the lethal injection could cause him difficulty breathing and ask that he be allowed to sit upright or stand. Really quickly, in case you guys are unfamiliar with the backstory as to the actual crime here, Humphreys was convicted of killing the two women at a real estate office where they worked in Cobb County. Prosecutors say Humphreys entered the office, robbed the women, and forced them to partially undress before shooting both of them, ultimately in the head. He was arrested after investigators linked him to the killings through evidence from the crime scene, and a jury convicted him. We'll keep you updated as this continues to move forward. In the meantime here, as we continue at 2 o'clock, I do want to let you know, speaking of legal situations that are unfolding today, let's talk about the latest in the Lindsay Clancy trial, because the jury has just begun their deliberations, and we understand that both sides made their arguments to the jurors, closing arguments to the jurors, Thursday morning. The Massachusetts woman, Lindsay Clancy, faces life in prison without the possibility of parole if convicted on the most serious charge. But let's talk about these closing arguments, because prosecutors say Lindsay Clancy acted intentionally when she killed 3 children inside the family's home in January of 2023. They say that she had the ability to understand right from wrong and maintain control by sending her husband out on errands before the killings. The defense argues Clancy was over-medicated, suffering from postpartum psychosis, and obeying a male voice commanding her to kill her kids. Her lawyer says she made repeated attempts to get help in the months prior. Let's listen to some of that argument.
She sent them off to go to CVS. It's on the way. It's on the way. She didn't want him out of the house long. She was in distress. She wanted him home to help with the bathing, to help with the kids, to help putting them to bed. How long is he going to be gone? She Googles it. Is that something that is so nefarious? You'd think that goes right along line with the book about good mothers having bad thoughts. My God, she actually Googled the time frame that Patrick would take to go to 3B and pick up the food and then leave and stop at CVS on the way. So I guess the government is suggesting she's not in a psychosis. So she's Googling Miralax because the doctor earlier that day told her that the baby needed Miralax. Why would she do that? Because remember the government's opening when they told you she wasn't suffering from the psychosis. She was a woman that didn't want to live her life anymore, wasn't happy being a mother, didn't want to live that life. So she's going to kill her kids and hopefully throw herself out the window and not paralyze herself, and then she could run off into the sunset, I guess. That's what their theory was, along with the fact it wasn't a real good suicide, it was fake. Well, now we know, don't we? The mess that this young lady was in her brain, my brain is being damaged. I will never be better. That's the evidence. That's the evidence that we have in this case. Burden of proof is on them.
So you're listening as Kevin Reddington makes his case to the jury. As we see here, the jury will have to decide whether Clancy is guilty of first-degree or second-degree murder or not guilty by reason of insanity. If the jury cannot agree on the murder charges, the judge is also giving an option for a manslaughter verdict. Jurors will have access to hundreds of exhibits during deliberations, including medical records and crime scene materials. So we will continue to watch this case closely as it unfolds in Plymouth, Massachusetts. A little closer to home, let's talk about a $10 million settlement for a case that has been decades in the making. We understand that the family of a 21-year-old killed in a crash in the city of Milton has reached a settlement now with the city. We're speaking about Joshua Chang. Our Kevin Stewart has been digging into this wrongful death case. Kevin, can you share the latest with us and, of course, some of the backstory for those who might not be familiar?
Yeah, this is a $10 million settlement, but originally civil court decided that the Chang family should receive $33 million. I believe it was $32.5 million. And the city of Milton fought that and got a bunch of other cities around the state to jump on board in the challenge, because the city of Milton argued that keep in mind, the young man lost his bearings and lost control of the car and hit a planter that was off on the side of the road, a few feet off the side into the green area. And the city of Milton argued that if they could be held responsible for that, that was a huge financial burden on them and many other cities all around the state. And so they challenged this, and in the end, the state Supreme Court ruled that the city could be held liable for what's between the white lines, the fog lines. And because there's some other issues outstanding, it put both parties to the table to try to come up with a solution. And so that ruling, that settlement, I should say, the amount of money that was given has been reduced from $32.5 million down to $10 million. We had a chance to talk to the city of Milton and the plaintiff's attorney. Take a listen.
Josh's parents always fought for was to make this something bigger than him. Make sure that there is accountability and make sure that other families are never put in the situation that they had to go through. 10 years coming up on his passing, nearly 8 years of litigation, that was their goal, and they accomplished that. Certainly there's a large financial component from the jury verdict and then ultimately the settlement, but that's not the legacy of this case. This legacy of the case is about making roads safer for others, and the family, can, hold their head.
We were able to, fortunately, bring this to, a concrete close, something that our cities and our residents are able to move past and start planning for the future. But actually, Kevin, the bigger issue still remains, and that's the statewide issue, because this settlement resolves this specific case, but only statewide legislation can really resolve the kind of the broader uncertainty that was created as a result of the Supreme Court decision. There's still a lot of questions related to other waivers of immunity, duty, and really nuisance.
And the court said no problem, finding cities liable for, really poor decisions. What we're left with now is a situation where the city's duty in terms of liability in a civil setting is pretty much narrowed to the white lines, the fog lines. Historically, we felt that duty expanded further into the shoulders and the right-of-way.
Yeah, but obviously the court did not find that, and what they did was, again, decided it's time to bring this to an end. As you heard him say, it's been 10 years. It was November, Christmas time, when this Yale University student, Joshua Chang, was coming back home and lost control of his vehicle and hit the planter on the side of the road. And 8 years of going back and forth during in the court system, some of that complicated by COVID, but this was something that the family and the city wanted to get past. And the legislature is now still working on clearing up some of the issues about liability for cities when you have this type of an accident. But again, what we see right now is that the white lines to the right and to the left of the road, that is what the city can be held liable for. But there are some other issues that still need to be worked out in legislation down at the Gold Dome.
Good to know, Kevin. It is interesting to see cases like this and how they ultimately resolve. Obviously, will not bring back their loved one. It will not bring back their son. But after so much time, the family can move forward, because this, like you said, has been decades in the making. And important to note that while he was home, I'm reading through some of the notes here just in our story and kind of looking through the backstory. Important to note, no drugs or alcohol found in his system when he was striking that planter. So that's probably another big factor in them deciding, okay, the city bears some culpability in this.
Yeah, he had no culpability at all as a driver. To our knowledge, it was just that he lost control of his vehicle, and we've seen diagrams where the vehicle in the accident report just seems to lose control and kind of do like this into the planter. We are expecting to talk to the mother and get her reaction to all of this, and we'll have that coming up on Fox 5 News at 4, 5, and 6 right here on Fox Local Atlanta and Fox 5 Atlanta over the air.
Kevin, thanks so much as always for keeping us updated. Appreciate your reporting. We'll see you again later this evening. As we continue at 2 o'clock, you guys, straight ahead, we are going to be checking in with Marquise Mita about your weather forecast. Georgia definitely pulling a 180 here today as predicted. Rain, humidity. How long is this going to stick around? Marquise will join us with the answers straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Unstad here with meteorologist Marquise Mita. Marquise, as predicted, humid, very sweltery out there with just the rain and kind of the 180 that Georgia pulled on us this week. Where are we headed?
Towards more rain on Friday, that's for sure. We'd even have another batch of rain enter the metro before today is said and done. And it's like we have so much going on today. We have a Braves game. They're hosting the Dodgers. On top of that, we kicked off the Tour Championship as well. Thankfully, the Tour Championship hasn't been delayed, but we did start off the day with those morning showers. Those have progressed towards the east. So right now, the picture outdoors looks like this, in which we're watching mostly cloudy skies begin to open up. And that gives us the chance for temperatures to warm up just a bit. It was nice. We were chilling at 75 degrees for quite a while, but now here as of the 2 o'clock hour, we've broken into that 80-degree threshold. Humidity, a big story for today. That sits at 74%, and over the last 24 hours, well, we've collected just above half an inch of rain, 0.6 to be exact, and a lot of that was brought to us this morning. So here's a look at surrounding cities. The current temperatures: Dalton 86, 87 in Rome. You guys have had a lot more time to heat up as you saw the showers first. Notice Edenton. That's one of our warmest communities typically, but you're all the way down in the lower 80s. A rain-cooled 81-degree current temperature here just past 228. Take a look at the metro. No showers in your neck of the woods right now, but off towards the east, Royalston, Anderson, you guys are watching the rain diminish right along that state border there, heading out towards South Carolina. Also, Eastman, Cordell, rain showers passing across I-75, inching towards the east. And the other round of rain that comes our way tomorrow will be brought to you courtesy of this cold front. You see that draped across the bluegrass area through the Appalachian Mountains, stretching across Knoxville in through Lexington and then back across the northeast as well. Eventually that'll swing our direction, but swinging in tonight is another shot at showers, in which we show that 40% coverage between 3 and 5. Not going to say everywhere will receive the rain, but as we make our way throughout the first round, it should be wrapping up at 7 and if there's no delays of the Tour Championship here in Atlanta at East Lake Golf Course. So a couple sprinkles on the green may mean that we are delaying today's events. Taking you hour by hour now, in which we show those showers off to the east. Tonight, quiet overnight, and that gives us a chance to actually look at the lunar eclipse taking place tonight. It's going to be hard, though, as we are predicting cloudy skies to start off your Friday morning. Overcast conditions will be present as temperatures drop off into the 60s and the 70s across northern Georgia. 72 as you kick off your Friday morning in Atlanta, so that's just above your seasonal average of 70. Canton, Gainesville, Blairsville, you're back in the 60s to kick off the day. And as we move across your Friday, what we're going to be watching out for is the chance for any severe potential that does diminish as we head into Saturday. Good news there, but Friday's forecast will call for that severe weather threats to be a 1 out of 5 issued by the Storm Prediction Center, in which what we're watching out for will be strong damaging winds, also the chance for localized flooding and frequent lightning as well. So all on tap for us on Friday, but how much rain are we going to see before the weekend is said and done? Let's take you hour by hour now, in which throughout your forecast we will watch that frontal boundary move closer to us on Friday and then kind of just stall out heading into the weekend coming up. Here's a look. Kicking things off this afternoon with more widespread showers, and as the front does drape itself across northern Georgia on Friday, especially in the afternoon, that's when we see lots of rain coming our way. Macon through Augusta, we can really stack up the inches as we move across the rest of your Friday, but expect to dry out, maybe an isolated shower over the course of the weekend on Saturday, and then we'll see similar conditions Sunday. So before the week is said and done, here's a look at the rain showers that we will accumulate. Close to an inch here in Atlanta, and possibly a little bit more as we kick off the work week with an isolated shower here and there. Today and Friday, definitely your rainmakers in the forecast. Highs hover between the upper 80s and the lower 90s across both days. Similar conditions temperature-wise over the course of the weekend, but expect to warm up moving across the work week, with highs returning to the mid-90s by next Wednesday.
Good to know, Marquise. Definitely going to ride this one out before we get hopefully to a little bit drier weather this weekend. Not that we couldn't use the rain. I realize that we probably could use it at this point.
Still a bit of a drought for us here in northern Georgia,
yeah.
So any extra drops in the rain gauge is a step in the right direction, but those steps take us towards warmer temperatures over the course of the weekend once we dry out.
Okay, good to know. Before I let you go, Marquise, I'm going to shout out Marie Bella J is saying that hello to you, and then she says that you're very handsome.
You know what it is? It's the good lighting that we have here, and these super tight T-shirts that I washed or dried for too long.
There you go, Marie. Now that's why. That's Marquise's reason why. Marquise, thank you as always for being a good sport. Okay, guys, let's continue here. I want to get to some national headlines because today is Caroline Leavitt's last day as White House press secretary, and I'd like you to take you through what this means here because she's stepping down from one of the most coveted roles in Washington to spend more time with her family. Her departure leaves a major vacancy on the president's team, with the administration facing a slew of issues, including the war in Iran. Let's talk about potential replacements and her departure, because after 19 months on the job, she's leaving the West Wing, and she says this ultimately came down to her family. She's joining MAGA Inc., President Trump's super PAC, and will continue to serve the president as an outside advisor. Her successor will step to the podium with a lot on their plate: an escalating trade war with Canada, contentious midterm elections, and the unresolved war with Iran. The president still has not decided on her replacement. Potential contenders include CNN conservative commentator Scott Jennings, Trump's senior advisor Stephen Miller and his wife Katie, and internal members of the White House press team, Anna Kelly and Stephen Chung. Top White House officials will be filling in at the podium again until there is a permanent successor, so we will keep you updated there. Really quickly, I want to let you know some states are suing the Trump administration over recent mail-in voting restrictions. As the battle for the November midterms heats up, decisions in court could impact how and who can ultimately vote. Some states are suing the president over this executive order that would restrict mail-in voting just as many people across the country prepare for the early voting period. A federal judge lifted an injunction Wednesday against President Trump's executive order on restrictions starting mail-in voting, a significant win for the administration ahead of the midterm elections. The judge from Boston announced her ruling despite believing it is unconstitutional after the Supreme Court ruled against her similar injunction in a separate case. The president signed the order in March to implement a uniform voting envelope and create lists of eligible mail-in voters in each state. The Postal Service initially said it would not apply the rule to this year's elections unless both injunctions were lifted. Now the path could be clear for the agency to move forward. The Trump administration still faces plenty of legal challenges. Around 24 Democrat-led states have filed a lawsuit against the Postal Service to block the new rules. Take a listen to what the U.S. Attorney General, as well as the Attorney General of Arizona, has to say.
And yes, we will keep on fighting that. We want to make sure that every vote in this country is counted appropriately, and that's what President Trump has told the American people he's going to do, and we're certainly going to back him up with that from the Department of Justice. Just like we've been ready, and this is what President Trump, this is what the American people expect President Trump and expect this country to be doing when it comes to election integrity and making sure that we are extraordinarily vigilant about who is voting and that they're eligible to vote.
Well, what I would say is over my dead body is that rule going to go into effect. We are going to fight this tooth and nail in the courts. Who choose voting by mail as they exercise their constitutional right to vote. States run our elections, period. Not the Postal Service and not the president, and that's why we sued the federal government again today.
Keep in mind the ongoing litigation comes as states are already making final preparations for the November midterms, which will decide the majority in the House and Senate. The Postal Service says it is not commenting on this lawsuit. Coming up, you guys, we are going to kind of check in on a smelly subject. Our Angelique Proctor has been speaking with an educator with Atlanta Public Schools who's found a creative and viral way to mitigate smells in her classroom. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad here with Angelique Proctor. And you guys, we're going to talk about a Atlanta Public Schools teacher who's found a creative way to deal with smelly stenches in her classroom. And Angelique, I understand her solution has gone viral, and she's now getting some major corporate partnerships.
Absolutely. Who would have known? It's so amazing. Now, we spent the day at Dobbs Elementary School, which is in Southeast Atlanta on Jonesboro Road. And it's actually where the second graders are going to the gas station. When we say gas, though, this has nothing to do with a car. This is actually relieving yourself if you have maybe some stomach indigestion or, you know, and that's a young man right there. He's actually in the gas station. He visited while we were there. She said that this was something that she came up with when she noticed she was smelling all these aromas that she didn't like. And she said, we've got to do something about this. So she actually started it last year. But this year, she put it on TikTok, and boy, did it go viral. Everybody weighing in on what they think about it. Some people thought it was a distraction, but she says it's worked perfectly for her classroom, and all of the students are using it, and it's taken the stigma or the embarrassment away from passing gas. And so I asked her, I said, now, have you used it? She said, not yet. Let's take a listen. Passing gas is almost a way of life.
It is. And so that's why I wanted them to understand, like, you can do it. Just do it away from everybody. So that way you're respectful and no one in the class is like, get away from me. That's the issue. The big issue was everybody was stopping like, who did it? Who did it? And I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is the distraction.
That was the distraction.
That's the distraction. But if you're not around everybody, that's not a distraction. So I feel like if you give it attention, they're going to give it attention. If you continue to just do what you're doing, you ignore it, they ignore it. So I think it's funny how, like, some people, especially if they're not teachers, they're thinking like, that's going to be a distraction. It's not. You handle them the way you want them to handle each other.
How poignant.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Miss Sydney Browning did a TikTok video, which just really took off. She says she's had 4 million views, and then Febreze got involved. But not only Febreze, she has been getting gifts from across the country. She says from total strangers, which have all enhanced her classroom. She's gotten like a portable desk. She's getting all kinds of snacks, as well as, of course, the deodorizers and things. So she is really glad that she did this because it has a really positive outcome with all of her students, and the students are just elated with this. I was surprised, but they like it.
Yeah, because my question would be, you know, do they pay attention to who goes to the gusty winds area?
Well, at this point, they're so used to it, they're not even fazed by it.
Yeah.
Because I noticed today, because we were all like looking up, but the kids were still engaged, and that was her whole point. I want them to continue learning. I'm keeping it in the classroom. Nobody has to leave out. And so it's working. It's a win-win. In fact, she says some teachers like the idea. They're using it in other cities across the country.
Wow, what innovation. She is so right, though. When you work with kids, they absolutely give attention to the things that we give attention to. And if this is the process, this is how you handle it, and this is what's normal, then they're going to think it's normal. And then it's not going to be this, who passed gas? Oh, what happened? It's like
she has set the tone, and they're following that. So she says there's no more disruption in her class.
Angelique, such a cute story. I love this. Love her creative way to handle it. And yeah, people are saying the comments are hilarious on the video. I can only imagine. I bet people are having a great time. Burrell's saying, is that the same quarter they go to timeout in? I doubt it.
No. This is a very distinct corner, and they do have the sprays there that they can use at any time once they relieve themselves if they feel like there's an odor. So it's just been a great way
to do it.
Yeah.
Angelique, thank you as always. Fun story. All right, as we continue, you guys, let's talk about some health news. I want to talk about a drug that has been approved for pancreatic cancer. The FDA just approved this. This is really remarkable. The FDA says that Revolution Medicines Daraxon Ribosib will be sold under the brand name Raslin-Q. It's a daily pill that blocks multiple forms of the RAS protein, which is known for driving tumor tumor growth in certain pancreatic cancers. A study was conducted consisting of 500 adults who had been treated for metastatic pancreatic adenocarcinoma, which is the most common type of pancreatic cancer. Using Revolution Medicine's drug improved the patient's rate of overall survival by nearly double, from 6.7 months on standard chemotherapy to 13.2 months when using Razonke. So I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation of that drug. You know, drug names are always very creative, but it is spelled Razonke, and it is based on the RAS protein that drives some of these cancers. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that story. But in the meantime, speaking of cancers and preventing them, let's talk about an effort underway right now from a Fulton County commissioner to offer men in our community free prostate cancer screenings. Our Chris Rosenthal joins us live. And Chris, I understand after his own battle, he wanted to make sure that people are able to get their prostate screened and that there's no stigma around this needed tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Fulton County Commissioner Bob Ellis, he was diagnosed last year with prostate cancer, and you know, he's in good shape and going through his doctor's recommendations, and you know, really getting that early screening is so important, and he wants to you know, share that message and give people that opportunity, give men that opportunity to get screened early, and that's why he's teamed up here with Emory Winship Cancer Institute and their mobile prostate screening van. They have been screening people all day here at the Fulton County Health and Human Services building here in Alpharetta, and going till 3. So wrapping up shortly here, but got plenty of other locations. They've been doing this for about a year now, and so still plenty of other opportunities for this. Still very important. And I have Roy here. He is with Emory Healthcare. And tell me, prostate cancer, why is it so, seems like an obvious question, but why so important to screen for this?
It's extremely important because I personally feel like, you know, prostate cancer is a little under publicized. It doesn't get a lot of media coverage, and 1 in 8 men are, you know, have the likelihood of getting prostate cancer throughout their lifetime. And that's why I want to thank Commissioner Bob Ellis for just allowing us the platform and the stage to spread awareness and get people screened.
You know, if it's caught early, it's very treatable, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. If we catch it early, there's a 95% chance that we can cure it. So again, awareness and early detection is key. Yeah.
People step onto this bus here, and I got a look on the bus here, but you know, it's really clean, really nice, got everything you need, but what does the screening look like?
So it's a pretty quick process, believe it or not. It takes about 10 minutes from start to finish. You'll see us, you'll come to the registration table, we'll get you registered through our Emory Healthcare system, and then we'll get you on the bus for a blood draw through one of our phlebotomists there. And then if you have any questions, we'll have a provider on staff to answer any questions that you may have privately in our exam room on the bus. So, yeah.
And not so scary then, huh?
No, not at all, not at all. I tell you what, by the time you sit down and start talking to our phlebotomist, she'll already have you sticked and ready to go, and you won't even feel a thing. Yeah.
And then, you know, if you do have a diagnosis or they find something, they'll reach out to you.
Absolutely, that's a great question. So if you do have a diagnosis, we have a whole care path that we're going to give you, and we're going to follow you along all throughout the way. So we're not just going to screen you and, you know, leave you to fend for yourself. We have a whole care path that we'll create for you.
You guys are going until 3 today. You've done over 100 so far, but you know, so a lot of people watching at home, they may have missed this, but there'll be other opportunities to catch this tour, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you visit our website, you'll see all of the locations that we're going to be at. We travel all throughout the metro Atlanta and rural Georgia areas, so we have tons of events coming up. So.
Gotcha, absolutely. So really good cause. Get yourselves checked out if you need it here. It's completely free. So prostate cancer screening, really important.
Wonderful. So glad this is being offered to our community free of charge. Chris Rosenthal live at this prostate cancer screening. We'll see you again here at 3. Understand it's wrapping up here soon, but there are going to be other opportunities and a good way to spread awareness. Marie Bellajay asking about the survival rate of late detection. Assuming you're talking about prostate cancer screenings, Marie, it's 32 to 38%, and that is according to the American Cancer Society. As we continue here at 2 o'clock, coming up next, you guys, guys, we're going to check in on a massive food donation that's helping our neighbors in Northeast Georgia, and some fun news for National Peach Day, which today is. Well, welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being live with us. I want to tell you about 40,000 pounds of donated food that's going to help families here in Northeast Georgia. Our Maria Guzman joins us live to talk about this donation. And Maria, what can you share with us?
Cobbler.
40,000 pounds of food, right? Well, that is all this and even next door in the next aisle. That's over 20 pallets. But as I'm talking to the leader here at this food bank, she tells me that 40,000 pounds of food is going to provide 30,000 meals. So let's go ahead and take a listen on the big help it's going to be here locally.
It was so amazing to see that truck pull around the corner and into our driveway, knowing that it was full of all of this great food that we need right now. So I felt a sense of joy and gratitude. This is such needed food right now for us. We are rounding out our summer feeding programs. And so as we look ahead to the fall, we are eagerly and rigorously sourcing as much food as possible. We know that it's going to be a very busy season. And so this is coming at the perfect time for us to help restock our shelves. We serve 15 counties across Northeast Georgia. We are standing right now in Athens, which is our primary admin and distribution hub. We have a second facility in Rabun County in Clayton, but between those two facilities, we are mobilizing food across our 15 counties. We know that in our service area, more than 100,000 people are facing food insecurity right now, and that need is increasing. We know the latest available data, it has increased by more than 13% over the last few years, which tells us that the need in our community is growing. We are serving anyone that needs food. It could be children, but we know that if a child is seeking food, then their family is also food insecure, and we want to alleviate that stress. So we serve children, families, individuals, many seniors, and so we have great partnerships with over 230 organizations who are nonprofits in our community, and are out reaching people where they live, learn, or work.
And what's unique about this bag of flowers, this represents all the food that's coming off the food truck. It was grown and packaged and made by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They do this just out of pure love and desire to help their neighbors. So it's not like we go to a manufacturer and buy food, we make our own and bring it. So as part of the America 250 initiative, the church wants to join forces and help celebrate religious freedom. And so we decided to distribute 250 semi-truckloads of food all across the country in all 50 states. Today represents the 8th visit to the state of Georgia, and we're delivering enough food to feed 1,400 plus people for a whole week, and that means about 10 million meals across the country and all of this year that's happening.
And now this donation was made possible through organizations like America 250, Just Serve, and the Church of Latter-day Saints. Ariel.
Wonderful, Maria. This is an incredible thing for the community in Athens. Thanks so much for bringing it to our attention, letting families know how they can get help if they need it. We will see you again at 3 o'clock. In the meantime, you guys, it is National Peach Day, a day that Georgia takes very seriously. So what better place to celebrate than a peach cobbler factory? Our Eli Jordan went to go check it out for himself. Eli, I hope you're able to bring back some cobbler.
I'm full, Ariel. I've already had a cup full of cobbler and ice cream, and it was real tasty here at the Peach Cobbler Factory here at the Avenue in West Cobb on a Dallas Highway Southwest. And did you know that it was Samuel Rumpf who developed the Alberta peach that had a tougher skin and made it easier to ship north to the States before they were able to harvest any peaches up there, and that's what made Georgia known as the peach state. Now, Alberta peach, well, it was named after Samuel Rumpf's wife, and how about that? So, happy National Peach Day. And I am here with Dee and Derek Titley. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, we're doing great.
So you guys have some real tasty food here. We got a peach cobbler, and we got mango top peach cobbler, and you guys have a couple other things, don't you?
Oh, yes, we do.
And so you got I'm real interested in the peach cobbler shake. So you got a peach cobbler shake here, and it's not done yet. You whip it up.
Yes, so we're gonna make a peach cobbler shake for you. So we basically put in our special peach cobbler.
And their shake machine is not always broken like some places. And yeah, I'm just gonna make enough to shake. Oh yeah, look at that auto shake making. That's tasty. So you got shakes and you got stuffed danishes as well.
Okay, this is a cinnamon roll. We have cobbler stuffed cinnamon rolls. So what I'm gonna do today is stuff the cinnamon roll with peach cobbler.
All right.
So
a
we
cobbler
basically do is take our peach
stuffed
cobbler.
cinnamon roll.
Yes. And we take that peach cobbler and put it in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll
I like it. That's gonna be perfect with the shake. Yes.
Yes.
And so you guys, you guys make individual things like this, but if somebody wanted to office cater, you guys.
Yes,
they
you can buy a peach cobbler pan.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So tell me the website if people want to, get a hold of you guys.
You can get a hold of us at peachcobblerfactory.com.
And I guess
you can choose a location.
Okay, you guys have several locations around here. There's a Peach Cobbler Factory at several locations. And but your location is, tell me the address real quick.
We at 3625 Dallas Highway in the Avenue West Cobb Shopping Center.
Tell me that one more time.
3625 Dallas Highway in Marietta inside the Avenue West Cobb Shopping Center.
Awesome, awesome. I tell you what, we're running a little bit out of time, but I like that whipped cream you got on there. Everything is peachy here, Ariel.
Peachy. And then we'll top it off with more peach cobbler.
Oh, and top it off with more peach cobbler. And also, they say if customers come in and they say, hey, we saw the peach cobbler on the stream, TV, or whatever, you get 20% off, Ariel.
20% off. 20% off.
Okay.
That's what's happening here on Peach Day here at the Peach Cobbler Factory in West Cobb, Marietta.
I love it. Looks delicious, Eli, and I may have to go in there and take advantage of my discount. I'm just saying, maybe you guys should too. As always, a pleasure to be with you live at 2 o'clock. We have more to come at 3. Tom Haynes is about to join you, and we'll have more news and, of course, some more peach cobbler.
Welcome to the 3 p.m. streaming hour, everybody. I'm your host, Tom Haines. So good to see you on this Thursday afternoon. A lot of rain out there in some parts of the area, and the rain is going to continue really over the next couple of days. We're going to check in with meteorologist Marquise Meda in just a couple of minutes to find out how long the rain is going to last and what our weekend is looking like as we knock on the door of Saturday and Sunday. In the meantime, I want to get you caught up on some of the news making headlines this afternoon and a warning from Atlanta police for Facebook Marketplace buyers and people who shop on similar platforms after a string of armed robberies during meetups in Southwest Atlanta. Let's get out to Fox 5's Allie Levine live with our officers say, you can protect yourself, Allie, and what happened here?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. You know, APD has two asks of the community tonight. First, they want to know if anyone recognizes the suspects in the video that we're going to show you in just a minute. But their second ask is that everyone knows what this is over my shoulder here and utilizes it. This is a safe exchange zone. These are at all APD precincts around Atlanta. This is a spot where if you're buying something on Marketplace, you come here and make the swap. These are monitored 24/7. If you're making an exchange, you have cash on you, you don't want to go to someone's house, you don't want to go to a random address, come here instead. But now back to that first ask from APD. I want to show you the surveillance video of these robberies that took place in July. 3 robberies on July 1st, July 21st, and July 28th. And you can see the suspects here. Now, in all 3 robberies, the victims showed up thinking they were going to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. They had the cash ready to go, and they were robbed. That cash taken, they never got that PlayStation or Xbox, and instead they walked away very much empty-handed with pretty bad memory, if not any injuries. So police are asking if you recognize anyone in this video to give them a call at Crime Stoppers. But again, they also just want to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else in the future. So we spoke with Sergeant Sean Houston about these safe exchange zones. Let's take a listen.
Exchange program, essentially, which will be located in front of each precinct, where you can see a sign just like the one we have over here, where you would want to meet up for any online sales or any exchanges or purchases in a safe place. Not typically you're in front of your residence or out at a friend's house or anything like that, or a location that someone just gives you to meet up with them. We want you to make sure that you have a set location that is safe, somewhere we can monitor you, which is going to be 24 hours a day, and you can make your exchange and go on about your way.
Amazing. Do you see people utilizing this space?
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes, they even come out here and they get in our way sometimes, but it's great. We love it. We want more of it. So we encourage those inside the city of Atlanta and even outside the city for any exchanges, any purchases, small or large, please utilize our safe exchange zones.
Any purchases, small or large, you can use these safe exchange zones. I did ask Sergeant Houston about large purchases. I know I've bought some furniture on Marketplace. That's a pretty hard thing to exchange at a place like this. I asked if he had any practical tips to keep people safe during those moments. He actually suggested APD is on hand for people at all times. He wants those individuals making large purchases to contact APD's non non-emergent line, and they'll actually send an officer out, make sure they're available and nearby in case you get in any trouble. And Tom, I don't know about you, but I mean, I've made some of these purchases. I've always found myself lucky, but this really has me thinking twice about where I meet people and making sure that I'm staying safe.
Yeah, Allie, you make some really great points. And it's not only Facebook Marketplace, it's other meetup platforms. We got Craigslist out there. We have so many free platforms where people can list items. But you're right, it's a real crapshoot in terms of who you're going to meet and who you're going to transact with. And I am just so reassured that Atlanta police is on top of this situation. I mean, it's a shame that somebody was victimized, but not only providing that safe space where people can meet, but boy, you just made news today saying that if the resources are available, and we all know that APD is oftentimes stretched thin, that you can call that non-emergency number. I believe that's what you reported this afternoon. And if somebody's available, they'll actually come out to meet you, or at least you could tell the person that you're transacting with, hey, I don't mean to be, weird about this, but I have notified police that we're going to meet to talk about you purchasing a big piece of furniture for me at my home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what Sergeant Houston said. Key point, calling that non-emergency line. And again, if resources are available, we know that Atlanta is a pretty busy place, but it's an option. They're here to keep us safe, and they want to make sure that if you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to meet a stranger, that, hey, maybe they at least know where you are and can be nearby to help.
Great information, Allie, because sometimes we're impulsive, spontaneous. We want to just get rid of something, but always good to have in the forefront of your mind. Be safe rather than sorry. Allie Levine reporting live for us this afternoon on the critical safety measures when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. We have breaking news this afternoon about a situation that we've been following here. A missing 16-year-old teenager has been found. This teenager had been missing for more than a week, really. We're talking about Ada George. She'd been located safe. Ada was reported missing from her Lilburn home on August the 19th. Police say that George told someone she was headed to Stone Mountain with a friend before disappearing. Well, detectives later traced her cell phone to the Stonecrest area in southeast DeKalb County, but searches of that area turned up empty, so the search was on. Officers say that George had unspecified health concerns that made finding her urgent, but the breaking news today, really just in the past couple of minutes, while Allie Levine was doing her live shot on the Facebook Marketplace transactions, is that Ada, thank goodness, has been found. We have other news this afternoon about a deadly shooting inside a DeKalb County neighborhood now turning into a murder investigation, and police say that the victim's own brother is behind the trigger. Officers responded to Hidden Creek Drive Wednesday afternoon after receiving calls of a person shot. 23-year-old Devon Asket was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries, but doctors were unable to save him. Now DeKalb County police confirming 21-year-old Jared Asket, his brother, has been arrested and booked into jail on a murder charge. Investigators haven't yet released what led up to the shooting, but they confirm there's no ongoing threat to the public in that area. Well, an Atlanta woman is headed to federal prison. Wait till you hear this story. For more than 16 years after stealing nearly $10 million from Amazon and then later forging a federal judge's signature. Prosecutors say that 40-year-old Brittany Hudson worked with a warehouse operations manager to approve dozens of fake vendor profiles and submit over 1,000 fictitious invoices. Well, the couple used stolen payouts to fund a luxury lifestyle, buying a Smyrna home, 5 luxury vehicles, and a motorcycle. Federal officials say while out on bond, Hudson tried to buy a hookah lounge franchise using fake bank statements and court documents bearing a forged judge's signature. So this woman is in a lot of trouble, 40-year-old Brittany Hudson, this afternoon. Hudson was convicted on 30 felony counts in order to pay more than $9 million in restitution and as I reported, will now spend 16 years behind bars in a federal prison. Want to talk about a good news story here this afternoon at 3 p.m., and that is millions of dollars in new federal funding are headed to rural hospitals here in our area to upgrade technology and expand care. Deidre Duke's live for us on the grounds of the state capitol this afternoon. Deidre, healthcare leaders say that the real test here is going to be what happens once patients leave the hospital. But great news as it relates to that money being pumped into those rural areas.
That's right, Tom. Absolutely, because, you know, we all have reported on several occasions about the really critical needs, specific, unique needs of our rural hospitals, and that involves and includes the advancements in modern technology, those needs there, telehealth services being provided. As we know, with the advancements in modern technology, we so oftentimes now can call in via video call to doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners when we have certain needs. And when we see some of the issues with staffing and things of that nature in our rural hospitals in particular, when you see something like this infusion of cash, it really does help bring those rural hospitals up to the necessary needs as far as providing care for those communities. And also, when we look at modern technology, we're talking about things like providing robotics and other services that we see maybe more commonly used here in our urban hospitals here in the urban area. This infusion of cash will make it possible for some of these hospitals to do things like provide services through the use of, say, we were told Da Vinci surgical robotics and digital cybersecurity, expanding telehealth networks, things of that nature. And so, as you might imagine, the 87 hospitals, rural hospitals here in the state of Georgia, who are receiving what we're told is some $93 million in federal funds being distributed to those hospitals across the state, that it is welcome money indeed. And it's part of, we were told today, a full $218 million that was awarded to these hospitals. This will be the final installment of what will be with this installment, a total of $218 million of federal funds made available to these state hospitals, distributed by the state through the Rural Health Transportation Program. So we talked to State Senator Ben Watson out of Savannah. He is a practicing physician, about the real great need for these funds and just how much these hospitals can do with this money that's being provided as part of a multi-year initiative. And here's what he had to say.
They're going to get money, for upgrades, for, robotics, as in like surgical robotics, and in like the Da Vinci machines that will help urologists, gynecologists, and general surgeons in those hospitals. They'll be getting digital cybersecurity that they can use to help prevent cyber attacks that hospitals will get. They'll be able to expand telemedicine that the hospitals will get. But they're also targeting specifically certain services like maternal care and behavioral health care. And that's what's, that's a lot of what's needed in the rural areas. Newborn screenings, dementia care, and just even the basics to help the patients, relating to transportation. So when it comes to Medicaid and those who are indigent in those areas who should be on our either the exchange or the waivers that we have for people in the federal poverty level below 100%, that's our pathways out of poverty. So it's trying to help them. It will also go towards value-based care, and that's what is being funded.
And so you can see that this money certainly will be, Tom, put to good use. We were also told that these funds, because these targeted funds can only be used for specific programs, equipment, things of that nature. And so it will also be used for workforce development to help with some staffing, to kind of help build up the workforce in those areas, say nurses, EMTs, things of that nature as well. So rural healthcare professionals is very excited about this program and what it means for our rural hospitals.
Deidre, I can't underscore the importance enough of this, because it's a story that we so often cover, the lack of access for folks in rural areas. and their access to medical care. Not only adults, but in many cases children, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and other pediatric services are trying to also expand into those areas. And at the end of the day, I mean, this is life-saving, potentially life-saving news for people who need access to care and don't necessarily have the time or the resources to make the trek all the way into a metropolitan area like Atlanta or Macon or Savannah or one of these places to get the kind of urgent care that they need.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Tom. And then also, too, frankly, as we know, with the advancements in modern technology, as you said, whereas before perhaps a rural hospital may have not been able to afford some of these, advancements like the Da Vinci robotics and things of that nature, and that would require someone to have to travel into town to have those resources in the community where they live, and then also to have telehealth, telemedicine options available to individuals who, otherwise may have had to come into Atlanta to meet with a specialist, things of that nature, to have the opportunity to sit in their living rooms and make that same video call and be assessed that way. It just really opens up the door to some much needed, valuable services in healthcare that's so vital to these communities that in some areas may be lacking right now.
Make a great point. The facility might be there, but the resources inside the facility, imaging and test diagnostics and things like that, might not be. What great news for rural residents here in our state. Deidre Dukes reporting live from the grounds of the state capitol this afternoon. Deidre, thanks so much. We have news about Georgia Power receiving state approval on a major deal to provide electricity to OpenAI's new complex in Effingham County. The contract includes 3,200 megawatts of new power demand. Under the agreement, OpenAI will cover all infrastructure costs and commit up to 1,000 megawatts of flexible demand. That allows Georgia Power to scale back power to the facility during peak hours. State regulators say that revenue from the large load contract is expected to save residential customers around $180 a year on electric bills starting in 2029. A new execution date has been set for a Georgia death row inmate convicted of killing 2 women at a Cobb County real estate office. The Georgia Department of Corrections announced today that Stacey Humphreys is scheduled to die by lethal injection on September the 16th. Humphreys was convicted in the 2003 murders of Cindy Williams and Lori Brown. Police say that he robbed the 2 real estate agents and shot them both in the head. His previous execution date was halted last December, pending legal challenges and a clemency review. We have news on the Lindsay Clancy trial. Closing arguments underway now in Massachusetts in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. Prosecutors argue Clancy acted intentionally when she killed her 3 children inside their home in January 2023, saying she knew right from wrong and sent her husband out on errands before the attack. However, the defense claims she was over-medicated, suffering from postpartum psychosis, and obeying a voice in her head.
She sent him off to go to CVS. It's on the way. It's on the way. She didn't want him out of the house long. She was in distress. She wanted him home to help with the bathing, to help with the kids, to help putting them to bed. How long is he going to be gone? She Googles it. Is that something that is so nefarious? You'd think that goes right along the line with the book about good mothers having bad thoughts. My God, she actually Googled the time frame that Patrick would take to go to 3B and pick up the food and then leave and stop at CVS on the way. So I guess the government is suggesting she's not in a psychosis. So she's Googling Miralax because the doctor earlier that day told her that the baby needed Miralax. Why would she do that? Because remember the government's opening when they told you she wasn't suffering from a psychosis. She was a woman that didn't want to live a life anymore, wasn't happy being a mother, didn't want to live that life. So she's going to kill her kids and hopefully throw herself out the window and not paralyze herself, and then she could run off into the sunset, I guess. That's what their theory was, along with the fact it wasn't a real good suicide, it was fake. Well, now we know, don't we? The mess that this young lady was in her brain, my brain is being damaged. I will never be better. That's the evidence. That's the evidence that we have in this case. Burden of proof is on them.
Jurors are now deliberating on charges including first-degree murder, manslaughter, or not guilty by reason of insanity. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary's last day at the White House is today. After 19 months in the West Wing, Leavitt is stepping down to spend more time with her young family, though she will continue serving as an outside advisor for the president's super PAC. Her departure leaves a major vacancy as the administration navigates midterm elections and escalating foreign policy issues, including the war in Iran. I want to show you live pictures now from Joint Base Andrews. President Trump is walking toward Air Force One right now. He just got off of Marine One. Whenever there are live pictures, we like to bring them to you here in the 3 p.m. stream. The president going to Texas, is that what we understand? For a campaign event and other activities there. That's President Trump boarding Air Force One right now. Again, these are live pictures from Joint Base Andrews as the president steps aboard that plane. We'll stick with it for just a second as the president ascends the staircase there en route to a campaign fundraiser in Texas. And there he goes on board the new Air Force One. So we mentioned Caroline Leavitt's last day today. We have also news today. In fact, was that Leavitt there? I don't know. I can't really tell from that angle. Would make sense that she's traveling with him on this sort of last day, last trip. But let's advance the story and talk about this voting order lawsuit that the president was involved with and his administration. A federal judge has lifted an injunction against the White House executive order restricting mail-in voting, marking a significant legal win for the administration ahead of the November midterms. The order directs the Postal Service to implement uniform envelope requirements and mandates completion of eligible voter lists. Now, a federal judge in Boston dissolved the injunction Wednesday, stating that she was compelled to do so following a recent Supreme Court ruling, even while expressing concerns over the order's constitutionality and potential impact of election logistics. The ruling could clear a path for new Postal Service mail ballot rules. However, legal challenges continue as a coalition of Democrat-led states have filed new lawsuits against the Postal Service, attempting to block implementation.
And yes, we will keep on fighting that. We want to make sure that every vote in this country is counted appropriately, and that's what President Trump has told the American people is going to do, and we're certainly going to back him up with that from the Department of Justice. Just like we've been ready, and this is what President Trump, this is what the American people expect President Trump and expect this country to be doing when it comes to election integrity and making sure that we are extraordinarily vigilant about who is voting and that they're eligible to vote.
Well, what I would say is over my dead body is that rule going to go into effect. We are going to fight this tooth and nail in the courts. Who choose voting by mail as they exercise their constitutional right to vote. States run our elections, period. Not the Postal Service and not the president, and that's why we sued the federal government again today.
So if successful, this ruling, again, could clear the path for new Postal Service mail ballot rules. We'll see if the legal efforts on the part of Democrats are successful. To Iran, and as the war with Iran approaches the 6-month period, President Trump says that there's no timetable for peace talks, calling the effort ongoing for as long as necessary. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright met this week with the International Atomic Energy Agency to focus on Tehran's nuclear capabilities, stressing that Iran has operated a weapons program underground. Meanwhile, neighboring Oman says that it's reached an agreement with Iran to clear mines from the Strait of Hormuz, but the U.S. has yet to sign on. Instead, Washington is leaning into new sanctions to force negotiations. The continued disruption in the strait has driven up domestic gas prices, sparking heavy criticism from Democrats as Election Day approaches in November. While the White House maintains the waterway is open, maritime groups report shipping traffic remains at a fraction of normal levels. When we come back, we're going to talk about the weather. Marquise Mira here, waiting in the wings to talk about the remainder of this work week, the rain that some parts of the state are seeing, and how long that rain could last as we continue. Welcome back, everybody. The wrath of Mother Nature on full display in Nepal as we get word now that over 270 people have been killed after this massive glacier collapse. Just a remarkable, I was trying to say geoseismic, but it really wasn't seismic. It was a collapse of a glacier there. Joined by Marquise Mira as we watch this video. Marquise, it almost looks like something out of a movie. Doesn't look real. No, not at all. It literally looks like watching Day After Tomorrow or something like that, right? Yeah, but indeed it was. And you just saw those people running for their lives. This deadly wall of water and mud tearing through communities along Nepal-Tibet border. Experts say that this massive glacier collapsed high up in the mountains, triggering an ice and rock avalanche that swept away homes, roads, and bridges in just a matter of seconds. Dozens of Americans among those unaccounted for there. Rescue teams now using helicopters and search dogs, and the desperate race against time to locate survivors amid the destruction. The United States has sent resources to that area to assist in the recovery. We certainly send them our thoughts and prayers and wish those folks well. As we shift gears, talk about our own weather. Here in the metro Atlanta area, North Georgia, Marquise, we've been talking about this rain that was expected to roll in the last couple of days of the work week. A lot of areas have gotten rain, some haven't, but this is kind of the pattern we're going to be in for the next couple of days. That is correct. I do believe the chance for strong and severe weather will be a little bit higher tomorrow, but we started off the morning with a round of showers inside of the metro, and we'll likely finish off the evening with another round heading our direction. Out in the tropics, though, looks like conditions are heating up, tracking our live Viper visible satellite, in which we are tracking Dolly. This is our newest tropical storm. It's actually set to maintain its strength. As of the most recent advisory, winds are at 40 miles per hour, and we're tracking the spaghetti model plots now. And this takes us through the weekend and into the start of the work week. Notice how tight-knit they are. That shows that the models are agreeing, at least for the next few days. It's as we head into the work week, though, that we start to see some deviations with this tropical storm moving over the Leeward Islands and then into Hispaniola, Puerto Rico.
Rico. Some of the models are taking that turn up towards the north. Others are continuing that westward movement. So we'll keep our eyes on this feature all throughout the weekend. But here's a look at the 11 o'clock advisory, in which Dolly did get its name, moving west at 24 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds at 40. Winds over the course of the weekend likely remaining in that 40-mile-per-hour zone. And many people are wondering, hey, like, why are we not seeing this intensify? Is this not going to become a hurricane? Well, this is going to be battling a lot of wind shear. And what that means is as you ascend vertically in the atmosphere, we have the winds twisting and turning. These often chop off any tropical system before it really gets its legs together. So that's good news that it's not strengthening and just continuing with that westward movement. Here back at home, the Tour Championship does continue at the East Lake Golf Course, in which we do show that 40% coverage of showers and storms throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the start of your early evening. Haven't had any delays yet, but it's very possible with the rain moving into the metro that we may see a delay coming up. Out across the metro right now, mostly cloudy, if not partly cloudy skies are present. And with a few slivers of sunshine, temperatures have risen in the last hour. We're back in the mid-80s, definitely cooler than where we've been previously throughout the work week. In fact, we started off the week in the 90s, so I'll take 84 even if that means we start off the morning with rain. Elsewhere, as you head towards East Georgia, pretty much right along that South Carolina border, we're still watching the showers heading in towards Clemson. LJ, you guys are getting in on the action. Looks like Augusta, Evans, Thompson, rain showers, and maybe even the occasional rumble of thunder. Now, the higher concentration of rain is across our eastern communities. You see from Macon through Warner Robins, new rain moving in, Dublin as well. But back out towards the west through LJ, Jasper, Kenton, along 575 there. A new batch of showers is approaching, so we could potentially see these move into the metro. Temperature-wise, though, we are really showing the high numbers that sustain strong and severe weather. That's due in part to the clouds that we've seen all throughout the day, and of course the rain that cooled us down earlier. Temps in Atlanta right now only 84. You match that in Griffin, Eatonton, Covington 86. Looks like the warmest place to be. That's LaGrange, still sitting at 90 degrees. I don't think the showers have really quite made it to our southwesternmost communities yet, but we'll have another batch of showers tonight, and then another one tomorrow, courtesy of that cold front moving in. Notice overnight, though, skies remain cloudy. Not great if you're trying to catch the lunar eclipse taking place. Maximum eclipse visibility, that'll be right around 12:12, so just after the midnight hour. We'll try our best to push off the showers to the south and the east heading into the 1 o'clock hour. So if the clouds open up, you may have good visibility for the eclipse, but keep in mind that we have been cloudy all day, and there's a good likelihood that we keep the clouds overnight. Friday's forecast calls for that front to draw closer to us, in which across southern Georgia you see those widespread showers. Those make their way further north with that southerly influence. So Friday night, you're definitely going to hear that rumble of thunder here across northern Georgia, in which we're watching out for severe weather threats of strong winds, heavy showers, and of course we can't rule out frequent lightning as well. Saturday's forecast will call for an isolated shower or two, but expect to be drier throughout the weekend. Forecast lows for tonight are back in the 60s and 70s, and your severe weather outlook, as I mentioned, does show that chance for a strong storm or two on Friday. Now, before your weekend is said and done, what we're going to be tracking is the chance for over an inch of rain across parts of northern Georgia. And we can see that in Griffin. It looks like Atlanta, you'll be coming quite close as well. And then as we move throughout the work week, expect to dry out, but also warm up. Temperatures should return to the mid-90s. So still another taste of summer on its way by next Wednesday.
Just when we thought we were done with mid-90s. Right back on the forecast. Bummer. Marquise, thanks so much. Want to talk about some new developments as it relates to pancreatic cancer. Boy, that is one of the deadliest cancers out there, if not the deadliest. It's Revolution Medicine's new drug, which will be sold under a brand new name. It's a daily pill that blocks multiple forms of the protein that is responsible for pancreatic cancer. A study was conducted, and it consists of 500 adults who've been treated for metastatic pancreatic cancer, which is the most common type of pancreatic cancer, and using this new drug improved the patient's rate of overall survival by nearly double. So some good news this afternoon from the FDA. Fulton County Commissioner Bob Ellis turning his own cancer diagnosis into a mission to save other people's lives. Let's get out to our Chris Rosenthal this afternoon in Alpharetta with how a free men's health event today making screenings quick and accessible. Chris?
Yeah, quick and accessible, and a lot of men took advantage of it today. They had about 109 men come out today to be screened here at the Fulton County Health and Human Services building in Alpharetta. Quick and easy process. It's really just a quick blood draw. They were here from about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And yeah, like you said, Bob Ellis, Fulton County Commissioner, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer last year. He was actually in for some other treatments, and they discovered something was off and discovered prostate cancer, and he's doing well with it, and following doctor's orders, but luckily caught it early in his case, and that's why he teamed up with Emory Winship and their mobile prostate cancer screening van to have them come out here and screen men, members of the public, anybody that wanted to come on by and be screened for prostate cancer, because early detection is so important in prostate cancer. If you catch it early, it really can be treated. It really can be managed very well. And I spoke with Bob Ellis a little bit earlier, and one of the doctors from Emory Winship, and let's take a listen.
Me, it is sort of personal. Back last fall, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I found out early and learned about all the options that were available to me from a treatment perspective, was able to develop a treatment plan that really worked for me, and I'm living life confidently and feeling great. And when I found out about Winship and this opportunity that they were doing, and going out into communities, I said, this is a no-brainer. I need to come out, speak about it, and encourage men to come out and get tested early.
Men are, reasonably, for good reason, concerned about, is that going to impact my quality of life, having a cancer detected in the prostate and maybe having to undergo treatment. And a couple of points on that. First of all, the approaches to detecting prostate cancer have been vastly improved over the last 10 or 20 years. Really, we just start with a simple blood test. Secondly, if a prostate cancer is found, not always does it need to be treated right away. We can oftentimes monitor the cancer and delay treatment until it's really needed. And then thirdly, when treatment is needed, the types of treatment available have expanded. And men will typically have a choice about perhaps different types of radiation treatments or possible different types of surgical treatments. And even when or if they have to undergo treatment, we have made a lot of progress in terms of ways to manage things like erectile dysfunction that might occur as a consequence of that, so that men and couples can maintain their quality of life so long as it's caught early.
Yeah, catching it early is really important. Dr. Sanda was telling me that prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths for men here in Georgia. But again, if you catch it early, you have a pretty good prognosis there. As far as this mobile van, they started this a year ago, Emory Winship, going around the metro area, going around also the state, doing screenings. They've done about 2,300 screenings so far, and about 1 in 8 or so of the men screened have had some sort of an elevated level that needed to come back and be addressed. And of course they'll give you a plan and work with those people who may need a little bit of further treatment. And of course, if you missed today, they have plenty more events coming up, Emory Winship, and you can always check their website to register or find out where they'll be and get screened for yourself. It's really so important.
Yeah, it's a great resource provided by Emory, and so nice to see it being promoted. And it's, prostate cancer, unlike, just before we came to you, pancreatic cancer, which sneaks up on you seemingly out of nowhere. But prostate is something that we can really be on top of. We can go for our colorectal screenings. We can just, be in good touch with our doctor or our gastroenterologist to confront it head on, but being augmented and supported by these mobile screening labs is such a great resource for folks. And as you say, if they want to find out more information, Chris, just head to Emory University Medical Center's website for more info. Chris Rosenthal out with the screening mobile. this afternoon. Chris, thanks. When we come back, a big treat from Miami this afternoon. We're going to hook up with our sports director, DJ Shockley, at the final game of the preseason, how the Falcons are looking, live from SoFlo when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour on this Thursday afternoon. So happy to have you along with us. I'm Tom Haynes, live at the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Appreciate you being with us on our free mobile app on your mobile device, Fox Local. If you're streaming with us on your mobile device, we're certainly glad you're here today. If you're at home watching on one of your live channels, glad you're with us as well, or on one of our socials at Fox 5 Atlanta. Of course, we're always on the radio. If you're driving about town on our radio partner 107.9 HD2 FM, glad you're listening to us today. We are certainly everywhere, including down on the beaches of South Florida, where one lucky man is standing by live. Our own sports director, DJ Shockley, clad in his sunglasses. The sun is shining. The Atlantic Ocean behind you looks Caribbean-like, as it often does this time of year, DJ. Now all we need is a good showing by our Atlanta Falcons in what is their final preseason game, we understand, down in Miami.
Hey there, Tom. Yes, and I just arrived here. I'm actually down in Fort Lauderdale right now. Just arrived, and I said, let me find a really cool view for my guy, Tom. I think he would appreciate this, but yes, it's beautiful down here right now, and the Falcons are getting ready to just arrive down here as well. They get ready for their final preseason game tomorrow with the Miami Dolphins, and the Falcons actually play really well in their second ball game. First game, not so much. Second game was a breath of fresh air, and then tomorrow, we will see Tua Tagovailoa, who will start. He played in Miami for 6 seasons. Now you get Michael Penix back, but he's not cleared to. He's cleared to play, but he's not playing on Friday night. So it's QB competition still going on. It's still in the works, and we expect to see a lot of the starters tomorrow as well in this ball game. So another chance for Kevin Stefanski and his crew to get these guys fine-tuned and ready to go before the season opener versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in a couple weeks. Now, a couple guys to look forward to and watch out for this weekend. I think a really fun guy to watch is Cash Jones. He played really well last week in the big game versus the Colts. Running back, played well, did really well. He's a guy that you got to look forward to because he's a guy who's on the bubble, looking forward to possibly making this football team. Kendall Daniels on the other side, a rookie who's played really well. Hal Perkins, 2 linebackers who are rookies who played really well for this Jeff Ulbrich defense, played well last week. And then it's going to be fun to watch what happens in the receiver group. We all know the top guys in Drake London and Jahan Dotson, Lamade Zakia, Zachariah Branch, but it's going to be a real battle between the 5th and 6th receivers coming into this week. Will it be Chris Blair? Will it be Vinny? I mean, there are a lot of guys who are in the mix right now for that spot, so we'll see what happens. But I think this is a big game for Tua Tagovailoa. He didn't have a really good performance in his first outing, dropped a snap, wasn't really accurate with the football. So this will be a big performance to see if he can solidify that quarterback spot or if it's wide open for Michael Penix Jr. So a lot of things going into this big game on Friday night. Of course, you can watch it right here on Fox 5, Friday night at 7. It will be fun to see what these guys get going and see if the Falcons can have another repeat performance of what they did last time, Tom.
DJ, first of all, I gotta say thanks for texting me. I was at the gym this morning and I got a text from DJ. He's like, Tom, I'm gonna be in Miami and I want to come on your 3 p.m. stream to talk about the Falcons' final preseason game. You're in Fort Lauderdale. You know, Miami holds a special place to my heart. I was not only born and raised down there, but I worked for our Fox station in Miami, WSVN, the news station, for 7 years. It's a wonderful town. I know, being up there on the beaches of Fort Lauderdale, you're not far from Hard Rock Stadium. Talk to us a little bit before you go about this.
Hold on.
Deej, you got me?
Real quick, coming right back.
Eh? Can you hear me?
All right, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I lost you for a second. There you go. Go ahead. Born and raised. Go ahead. Born and raised down here. Yep.
I gave you a whole soliloquy, but I guess you dropped out for a second. But
Sorry.
but back to the game. All right. And it's a question that I've been asking our guys. I was saying you're not far from Hard Rock Stadium, there on the beaches of Fort Lauderdale. But this quad of quarterbacks, Tua Penix, Cooper Rush, Jack Strand. Do you like, and I've asked all you guys, including the Water Boys, who have a great podcast. They're going to be on tomorrow to talk about all this. Do you like sort of the intramural competition? And you were a quarterback yourself, so you know exactly what you're talking about, perhaps more than anybody, among these quarterbacks to vie for the front lines on the offensive line?
Yeah, it's a good question, because you think about how well Cooper Rush played last week. You think how well Jack Strand has played, and a lot of people are pulling for Jack Strand. A lot of people want him to play and have a spot on his team, and they want him to have a big part of what's going on with this Falcons team. So it's going to be fun to see how he ends up playing. And a lot of people are wondering, will he make the team? I think he will make the team. He's played well enough where he has a chance to be a big part of what they do, especially coming up this season. So we'll see how well he plays. But it's been fun that you got 4 guys who can play the position, and obviously the rookie coming in has a lot to develop, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the next couple of days, because, Tom, on August 30th, the Falcons have to go from 90 players on their roster to 53. So they're cutting almost 37 guys from this roster come Sunday by 6 p.m., and we're going to see if Cooper Rush and Jack Strand are a part of it. Obviously, Tua and Penix are the guys vying for the spot, but those 2 backup spots are going to be interesting for people to watch to see if they keep all 4, which teams usually don't do. We'll see if they keep all 4 or if one guy gets cut and they find a home somewhere else. But Friday night's going to be fun to see how they end up and see where we end up on Sunday when they make the cuts.
Yeah, it's sink or swim as we reach the end of the preseason. I'm going to let you go because I want you to get out there. The next time you need a baggage handler, an assistant, a groupie, all right? I do that too.
I got you.
More than willing to travel with you. But I see the palm fronds rustling behind you there. I see the breeze, the tropical breezes blowing in South Florida. The people passing by on their rollerblades and their bicycles. And I know you got your swim trunks on underneath there. So I'll let you go.
Tom, it's tough. Yeah, I can't show you the below because the below is about to go get active. So I can't show you what's going on down there. It's about to get real fun. But maybe next time, Tom. Maybe next time you and Noelle can join me out here. It'd be fun, you know.
DJ with the Atlanta Falcons down in South Florida. DJ, thanks so much for checking in. Appreciate it. When we come back, we got a lot more still to come here. Did you know that I didn't even know this existed? Let me wipe this banner off the screen for a second. It's actually Peach Cobbler Day. All right. So since we're here in Georgia, we're going to celebrate with our Eli Jordan right after the break. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour. Everybody having a lot of fun today as we talk about the perfect time to visit downtown Atlanta. It's always a perfect time to go downtown, right? As Atlanta's Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame celebrates the return of college football with some new exhibits. One celebrates HBCU marching bands and features more than 40 works by artist Keith Duncan. All right. And the other highlight is the class of 2026 inductees. The College Football Hall of Fame is located at 250 Marietta Street Northwest in downtown Atlanta. And they're hosting what's called the Battle of the Bands. Opens August the 27th. So check that out if that's your thing. The College Football Hall of Fame is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday through Mondays. Again, you can always find out more on their website. At the College Football Hall of Fame, and that is in downtown Atlanta, right near the Coca-Cola Museum, the Georgia Aquarium, the Center. They don't call it CNN Center anymore. I think it's just the Center now, Centennial Olympic Park. It's really one-stop shopping in downtown if you want to head down there. They got the big Ferris wheel, if that's your thing too, that you can do as well. So go check it out. All right. Happy National Peach Day. That's what we're all about here in the state of Georgia. It's us basically in South Carolina that are known for their peaches, and a local favorite is celebrating in a very sweet way. Our Eli Jordan is out and about at the Peach Cobbler Factory to show us what is on the menu today. I can only guess, Eli.
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. Hey, you know, despite the peach arriving on the shores of Georgia in the 16th century, did you know it wasn't until 1995 that the peach was named the state fruit? That was only 31 years ago. And so, you know, I mean, but it's been known as the peach state for quite some time, well over 100 years. But yes, today is National Peach Day, and what better place to be than the Peach Cobbler Factory. And I am at the Peach Cobbler Factory at the Avenue West Cobb at 3625 Dallas Highway. And I am with Dee and Derek Titley. And how you guys doing?
Hi, doing great.
So you guys have like cobblers, and you got shakes. And Derek, you're enjoying that shake. I'm kind of jealous, but you guys have all sorts of things, peach and other fruits here, don't you?
Of course. We have 12 flavors of cobblers, 12 flavors of banana puddings. You can get it as a single order, or you can get it in a catering pan.
So, all right, so you can come in here and get your single, and there's that lovely banana pudding, but you can come in here and get you a cup of peach cobbler, or we got Labor Day coming up. You might want to cater and not get, you know, have to cook and get you a big pan, right?
That's right. That's right.
We got the big reveal here, and you can also do this for those big parties, or, oh my goodness. That is a crowd pleaser right there.
Of course, and everybody have their own fair share. You don't have to worry about somebody getting too much, too little. It's already divided in individual cups.
So if I wanted, let's say Labor Day, you know, let's say I'm having a party this weekend. How far ahead would I have to call to get this whipped up?
Oh, just give us at least a 3-hour notice. We'll have it ready for you to pick up.
A 3-hour notice.
A 3-hour notice.
That's just Gilligan's Island. With it. You know, theirs is still sitting here waiting.
Yeah, and, we always stop. We ready.
But yeah, so you guys not only do the. You know, you got the individual, you got the catering going on, which is just fantastic. I know a lot of people that could, you know, probably do that. I mean, because, you know, they're already working, doing the barbecues and getting ready to clean up the house. Who has time to cook
That's
the dessert?
Right. We also cater our cookies. You can get a 6-pack of cookies. We can cut those in 4s. You also can do brownie bites, cinnamon rolls, churros, you name it. We got it.
And also, too, you guys cater to the night owls, right?
Yes, we do.
So tell me about the delivery and, you know, where they need to go online and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, we do delivery service every day. We open from 12 to 10 p.m. every night, and on the weekends, Friday and Saturday only, we do deliver until midnight. So you have all the way up till midnight to order through DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub.
Oh, yes.
What's your website?
www.peachcobblerfactory.com.
And just select your location?
Just select your location.
And again, what's our location here?
We are here at the Marietta location off Dallas Highway in the Avenue West Cobb.
Avenue West Cobb, and off of Dallas Highway. And, again, tell me your hours one more time.
Our hours are from 12 to 10 p.m. every day.
Every day.
We are open to the public.
Satisfy that sweet tooth. And, Tom, I'll tell you what. This cobbler right here, I had some with ice cream. It was so good. I am full, but I am eyeballing this banana pudding because I'm a sucker for both. I'm a sucker for both of these dishes right here, and but I might just have to take this home and this home, and I'm going to take this now. But now these are perfect for catering, so only 3 hours ahead of time.
Just 3 hours, yes.
And so go ahead, Tom.
Home? No. You're going to bring them here to the TV station.
Oh, no, I'm just taking them home.
We want to try
I got
them.
Neighbors to warm up to.
No. You're not taking that home. I want to know something from these. I want to know something from these guys because they're great, and we're all here watching this, salivating. Okay, where did they get the inspiration to open the Peach Cobbler Factory? Because it looks like a lot of love going into those little cobblers.
To crank up a peach cobbler factory. I mean, you guys could have done a lot of things. Why a peach cobbler factory?
Well, where else in the world can you get 12 flavors of cobblers under one roof? 12 flavors of banana puddings, and then on top of that, churros, brownies, cupcakes, cookies. I mean,
everybody here leaves with a smile too.
That's for sure. They come in with a smile. They leave with a bigger smile. It's unique. It's different.
And it's something for the whole family to enjoy.
And you guys also, too, do cold treats. Like you got that shake there, Derek. How's that shake treating you?
The shake is lovely. They don't last long when I have them. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would try it. Ice cream goes straight to my thighs. Yeah, they do. Again, you guys are located here at
the Avenue West Cobb in Marietta off Dallas Highway, 3625 Suite 850.
Suite 850, and your hours are?
12 to 10 p.m. every day, on weekends till midnight for deliveries.
And one more time with the website address.
The website is peachcobblerfactory.com. You can go in. We got 15 locations in Georgia. Select the location closest to you.
Dee and Derek, thank you so much. Tom, I'm going to kick it back to you because I got some.
You got some eating to do.
I got to get a fork and spoon and.
Yeah, we got their website up on the screen, peachcobblerfactory.com. Bring something back for us, okay? Because it looks amazing, and we appreciate you guys out there at Peach Cobbler Factory in Cobb. Eli Jordan and crew, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. We had a lot of fun today. Went down to Miami, chatted with DJ Shockley, went to the Peach Cobbler Factory, and covered a lot of news this afternoon. Don't go anywhere, though. The news continues right here, right now.